Chapter 314. This UG general is Gu Qing Shan. The cultivators all calm down. UG General Gu Qing Shan is by Hua Saint's direct disciple. He has a military rank, a status. He was the one who planned the large-scale military campaign, and now he's taking responsibility for his actions. Everyone looked at him, waiting for his next order. Gu Qing Shan spoke with killing intent and shouted, "Enforcers, step forward if you see anyone trying to disturb the army's morale. No need to report, execute them." As soon as he said so, a few dozen enforcers stepped forward. Not only are these enforcers powerful, they're also quick to kill, specifically chosen to enforce military law. Seeing that, the other cultivators couldn't help but go silent. Gu Qing Shan spoke. "Relay my order. The airships are to form a rapid march formation. Everyone retreat to the southwest. Our destination is the UG camp 2,000 miles away." One of the Rejuvenation Realm cultivators couldn't help but speak up. "I don't think this is..." Gu Qing Shan coldly spoke. "This is a critical moment. Anyone who disobeys my orders will be executed." A few enforcers silently stepped forward and surrounded the Rejuvenation Realm cultivator. The cultivator immediately went silent. Gu Qing Shan continued. "All formation users will temporarily stay behind to cover the retreat. Those who try to run away will be executed." The words "behead" carried a murderous intent that could break gold and split stones, making everyone feel the power of military law. Gu Qing Shan shouted again, "Move out." The cultivators all moved. Airships were released one after another. The cultivators followed the prearranged rapid march formation. Quickly and orderly piloted the airships and flew to the sky. Gu Qing Shan then looked at the two great cultivators and said, "The three of us are UG generals, so we'll be responsible for covering the retreat. We'll also observe the situation." The two great cultivators exchanged glances, then looked outside, only to see the rain of fire connecting the sky and the earth, carrying an aura of destruction as it slowly moved towards the camp. Under the rain of fire, a sea of demons rushed forward like a tidal wave, occasionally screaming in pain. Those were the demons that were too slow and were caught up by the rain of fire. They were burnt to ashes on the spot. Among the two generals, the soul formation cultivator's gaze swept past the sea of fire and locked onto a few ferocious soul formation realm demons. He couldn't help but take a step back and quickly said, "You and I are both UG generals. You can't order me around. Since I'm the one who gave the order, I'm in charge of the retreat. This is a military order." Gu Qing Shan said solemnly. A burst of spiritual pressure suddenly erupted from the soul formation cultivator's body, and he was about to suppress Gu Qing Shan. With his realm, he could immobilize Gu Qing Shan with his spiritual pressure alone. "How dare you?" Gu Qing Shan narrowed her eyes and said softly. The soul formation cultivator's spiritual pressure stopped. In the sky, the cultivators were retreating in an orderly manner. Everyone was watching them. Moreover, the saint definitely had a way to find out the cause of the matter. "Humph! You and I are of the same rank, so you have no right to interfere with my actions. I will explain this to the Ding Yuan general." The deity transformation cultivator coldly said. He released his airship and flew away. He was so fast that the guards didn't even have time to stop him. Gu Qing Shan then looked at the Rejuvenation Realm cultivator. "I'll cover the rear with you," the Rejuvenation Realm cultivator said. "May I ask your title?" "Chun Xiao." "Where's that man just now?" "Wang Lai. His temper isn't too good. Don't mind him. I won't bother with a dead man." "General Chun, go and urge the formation users to activate all the formations." "Yes, sir." The young general in front of him was only a Foundation establishment peak, but for some reason, the Rejuvenation Realm cultivator couldn't help but shiver, answered, and quickly left. Outside the outpost, the formations lit up one after another. Streaks of 5 elemental spiritual light rose from the formation, illuminating the entire sky into a sea of colorful lights and shadows. Gu Qing Shan silently counted. 36 offensive formations, 72 defensive formations, the number of heavenly spirits, the number of earth fiends, the number of heavenly spirits, everything was in place. Gong Sun Ji was a formation grandmaster. Wherever he was, the outpost would always be seamless and watertight. The formation users of the outpost were all under Gong Sun Ji's command, so they weren't willing to give up on the outpost so easily. Right now, they were all trying their best to show off the power of the formations in front of Gu Qingshan. Just the construction and maintenance of these formations would consume an astronomical amount of manpower and spirit stones, enough to make a medium-sized sect go bankrupt. No one would be willing to take on such a heavy responsibility if they were to give up on such a military outpost. This is a decision that only the commander of an army can make. But Gu Qingshan didn't hesitate to give the order to retreat. Gu Qingshan stood on top of the outpost wall, observing the approaching rain of fire and demon swarm. At this point, no one noticed that behind a certain building in the outpost, the soil was starting to loosen. All of a sudden, a sword silently appeared. As soon as the sword appeared, it found a secluded spot and silently stood there, not making a single sound. From its angle, it was able to see the scene of Gu Qingshan commanding the army. Just like that, it silently watched. Gu Qingshan stood on top of the outpost wall, observing the situation with all her might. All of a sudden, from the sky above the rain of fire, a black shadow descended, quickly heading towards the outpost. As Gu Qingshan looked up, her expression changed. It was an airship with a large Shan character written on it. The airship was heavily damaged, staggering in the air, almost caught up by the rain of fire behind it a few times. Seeing that, a few dozen powerful demons screeched as they flew towards the airship. Formation flags. Seeing the dire situation, Gu Qingshan shouted. 36 black flags, 72 purple flags flew in front of Gu Qingshan. Black flags represented offensive formations, while purple flags represented defensive formations. On the handles of the flags, different colors were used to represent the 5 elements of the formation. This was a fortress array flag that was created using a special method and could be controlled with spiritual will. Gu Qingshan held the control of the formation flags in her hand. 108 formation flags flew up, hovering in front of Gu Qingshan. Gu Qingshan stood in the wind, using her inner sight to lightly point at 16 black flags and loudly ordered, 16 black flags, cover the airship. Immediately, the cultivators guarding the 16 offensive formations received the order and formed their hand seals at the same time. The 16 offensive formations slowly began to move. A few moments later, countless blinding beams of light shot out from the outpost, knocking the monsters near the airship away, killing them, crippling them, or falling into the rain of fire behind them. Gu Qingshan then pointed at 27 purple flags and ordered, "Release the long-range defensive formations." As soon as she said so, several dozen flashes of light flew out from the outpost, landing on Ning Yuechan's airship. Thanks to the outpost's protection, the airship barely stabilized itself and was about to crash into the outpost. Gu Qingshan quickly pointed at the remaining formation flags and shouted, "All defensive formations, open the gate for us." In a split second, all the defensive formations on the outpost began to glow as a wide gate appeared. The airship went through the gate, passed by Gu Qingshan, and crashed into the outpost, kicking up a large amount of sand. General Chun, arrange for the rescue. Gu Qingshan looked at the demons outside the outpost and said without turning around, "Yes." Chun Xiao brought a few cultivators with him. At this point, the first wave of demons was about to arrive. Gu Qingshan quickly pointed at 36 black flags and ordered, "Follow the direction of my inner sight. Fuse as one and attack." The 36 magic arrays were activated at the same time, and the entire military camp was shaken slightly. A few moments later, the 36 formations fused into one, turning into a giant pillar of light that shot into the sky. This pillar of light followed Gu Qingshan's inner sight and struck the ground a few miles in front of the outpost. "Not enough, do it again," Gu Qingshan continued. Another gigantic pillar of light flew out of the camp, whistling through the air before crashing into the ground. Again, boom, again, Boom! Gu Qingshan glanced at the outside, then jumped down from the outpost wall and quickly flew towards Ning Yuechan's airship. A few miles away from the outpost, a bottomless ravine that was over 100 meters wide had appeared. This ravine separates the outpost from the demons. Unless there were a few high-tier demons, there's no way for them to jump over. The demons that couldn't stop themselves quickly fell down, while the rest chose to squeeze through the ravine to find other ways to escape. Just like that, the demons were forcefully split into two groups, avoiding the outpost. But the destructive rain of fire didn't seem to have any intention of changing directions, instead heading straight for the outpost. Inside the outpost, the airship had already been opened. Ning Yuechan dragged the unconscious Gongsun Ji out, worriedly looking at Gu Qingshan. Are you the one controlling the formations? Yes. Where are the cultivators? I told everyone to retreat. Where did they retreat to? Long Tianxing's outpost. That's good. That's good. Ning Yuechan sighed in relief and loudly ordered, change to an airship. Everyone leave the outpost. She is the Ding Yuan general, so her orders were quickly carried out. This time, even the formation users couldn't say anything. Because the outpost commander is unconscious, the situation has already reached an irreversible state. What happened to General Gongsun? Gu Qingshan asked. I don't know either. We were exploring a ruin when he suddenly collapsed, Ning Yuechan answered. How did that happen? What was he doing at the time? He picked up a formation plate and was trying to refine it. What? Gu Qingshan carefully looked at Gongsun Ji. Seeing that he's already unconscious, he knows that there's nothing he can do right now. It looks like his soul vessel was attacked. It's best to send him to the rear for treatment. He immediately got an airship, had Chun Xiao carry Gongsun Ji, and boarded it together with Ning Yuechan. What about you? Ning Yuechan stared at him and asked. As Gu Qingshan was about to jump on the airship, he noticed something. At a corner of a certain building in the outpost, a broken sword was silently lying there. Gu Qingshan didn't know why he noticed this broken sword. He suddenly remembered the thaumaturgy's first quest. Quest objective: display your abilities in Shenwu world until you find a weapon. Find a weapon. Gu Qingshan thought for a bit, then told Ning Yuechan, you guys retreat first, I'll cover the rear. Very well. Take care of yourself. We'll see you in a bit. Ning Yuechan isn't a pretentious person, so she took the airship and flew away. The rest of the cultivators quickly retreated. Very quickly, the entire outpost was empty. Gu Qingshan walked in front of the broken sword. This was a very unique-looking sword. From the looks of it, it must have been around for a very long time. As Gu Qingshan carefully looked at the sword, he found that the sword's design, patterns, and hilt were completely different from other swords of the current era. One side of the sword was flat, as if it had been cut in half, leaving only half of it, while the other half was missing. Gu Qingshan bent down and picked up the sword. Ting! The system's voice sounded. The user has picked up a weapon. Chapter 3:15. Gu Qingshan silently waited for a few moments. After the system showed that the quest was completed, it went silent without any response. What's going on? Could it be that the thaumaturgy quest is just picking up trash? That's impossible. Gu Qingshan weighed the sword in his hand, feeling a bit itchy to try swinging it a few times. Cultivators are always like this. When they get a new weapon, they'll instinctively try it out a few times to feel the power of the weapon. This is the natural reaction of humans. But as soon as Gu Qingshan made a stance, he abruptly stopped. He suddenly remembered almost every person who fainted did so after using their weapon. Gu Qingshan looked at the distance of the rain of fire. It's already outside the stronghold. There's no time to investigate the reason. He could only put the sword away and fly the airship away. Not too long after, the rain of fire started to pour down. The 72 formations couldn't resist at all, easily pierced through by the rain of fire. The entire stronghold was engulfed in flames. The demons finally turned from a tidal wave into a chaotic flow, scattering and escaping. But the rain of fire didn't care about this at all, continuing to move forward in a straight line without stopping. UG camp. UG General Wang Lai was tied up and pinned down. All the generals were here. Ning Yuechan was wearing a Ding Yuan general armor, standing in front of him, and coldly asked, "Why did you not obey military orders and act on your own?" Wang Lai is an ascended realm cultivator. He's never been treated like this before, angrily retorted. He's only a foundation establishment realm cultivator. What right does he have to order me around? Ning Yuechan asked. Then why did you give him the authority to command when it's time to give orders? Wang Lai was speechless. Another Ding Yuan general, Monk Ming Hui, begged for mercy. This person has done a lot of meritorious deeds. He should be punished by demoting him a chaplain before he finished. A snow-white blade gleamed as the stench of blood filled the air. Wang Lai's head was chopped off, but he still had a look of disbelief on his face. Everyone went silent. Ning Yuechan sheathed her saber and coldly said, "Due to his meritorious service, he has been promoted to UG General. However, during a major battle, he disobeyed orders and deserted. According to military law, he should be beheaded. Ba, this is a soul formation cultivator. He will be of great use in the future." Monk Ming Hui sighed. It's precisely because he's a soul formation cultivator that we can't tolerate him. He's already like this for small matters. If we rely on him for big matters, he'll definitely ruin things, Ning Yuechan insisted. She then ordered the generals, display their heads to the public. Yes. All right, everyone disperse. The generals quickly retreated as if someone was whipping them from behind. Wang Lai's head was taken away and hung in the military law office. At this time, only the two Ding Yuan generals and Gu Qingshan were left in the tent. How? Is General Gong's son? Gu Qingshan asked. Ning Yuechan's gaze softened. A few highly skilled doctors have said that he will only wake up after a few days. What exactly happened? They said that his soul vessel was hit by an intense attack and was wounded. I'll go take a look. Saying so, Monk Ming Hui left. Gu Qingshan took out the map, carefully looked at it, and asked, "Why did you suddenly want to explore the ruins? This is a dangerous task. Isn't it always done by the three saints?" "They're too busy, so your Shifu assigned this task to me," Ning Yuechan answered. "Shifu assigned this task to you? Then what about me?" Gu Qingshan silently thought about it. Ning Yuechan tapped her inventory bag, took out a glowing purple talisman, and gave it to Gu Qingshan. "What is this?" Gu Qingshan was surprised. "I met your Shifu before. She asked me to give this universal talisman to you," Ning Yuechan answered. Universal talismans are extremely high-tier talismans, probably the most difficult to make of all the talismans. Because it's related to the law of space, it's even more powerful than an inventory bag. Unlike communication talismans can only be used for voice transmission, while universal talismans can be used to send items through space. What one person puts in, the other person can take out from the other side. Even if the two of them are separated by the space vortex, it won't affect this process. It takes 10 years to make a single talisman like this, using countless spirit stones and precious materials. Gu Qingshan hurriedly infused her spirit energy into the universal talisman, wanting to see what Shifu wanted to tell her. The universal talisman lit up. A few moments later, a small jade bottle appeared, followed by a communication talisman. Gu Qingshan first listened to the communication talisman. "I'm taking sorrow to heal his wounds in the space vortex. Take care of yourself. If you can't handle it, run. This jade bottle is a divine healing item I found in Shenwu world. It's much better than the pills of our world. Take it." Holding the jade bottle, Gu Qingshan felt warm inside, but also a bit worried. Even the great monk of sorrow is injured, and Shifu couldn't help but hide in the space vortex. They're probably not in a good situation right now. At this time, a report came from outside, saying that Lung Tianxing's team had encountered a powerful demon. They've been fighting for 1 day and 1 night without a clear winner. Ning Yuechan then left. Gu Qingshan also followed, but Ning Yuechan turned around, put her hand on his armor, and pushed him back. "I'll go alone." Ning Yuechan stared at him for a bit longer, her face a bit red as she spoke. "I don't have anything to do anyways," Gu Qingshan insisted. "Forget it. Your sect doesn't have enough people. We can't afford to lose them. Just stay in the camp and don't let anyone worry about you," Ning Yu, she said without looking back, then quickly left the tent. Gu Shan was a bit surprised, a bit annoyed. It's fine if Shifu is like this, but you're also like this. It's not like I've never participated in a war before. What kind of people are you going to do in a cultivation world? He could only open the war, God UI, looking at the stagnant quest, silently worried. There was no one else in the tent. He randomly found a place to sit and took out the broken sword. No matter how he looked at it, he couldn't see anything special about it. He suddenly remembered the quest description. Quest name, prove your worth. Quest description, display your talents as much as you can. Only by performing well enough will you be qualified to complete this quest. Description, if you're trash, no one will give you a second glance. Looking at the sword, he suddenly had an unbelievable thought. He cleared his throat a few times, then asked the sword seriously. This is our first meeting. Is there anything this humble one can help you with? Silence reigned. The sword didn't answer. Gu Shan waited for a bit, then couldn't help but laugh. So I was just thinking too much. A few seconds later, his face changed. That was because the sword in his hand trembled slightly. Gu Shan couldn't help but stand up. The sword has a spirit? Can you understand what I'm saying? Gu Shan hesitantly asked. The sword left his hand, hovering in the air, tip pointing downwards, the hilt lightly touching. You're a sword spirit? Gu Shan's eyes lit up. A weapon with a spirit can multiply its power, a treasure that only exists in legends. However, the sword nodded again. At this time, the large glass orb on the war god UI began to let out a faint light. The mist inside automatically drifted out, entering Gu Shan's pores. This is the unique power that the quest mentioned before. Ping! A crisp sound came from a system. Initial quest. Prove your worth. Completed. Reward. Telepathy. Spirit type gods. Chosen skill. Allows you to naturally understand weapon spirits. Chapter 316. After Gu Shan finished absorbing the mist from the crystal ball, he looked at the sword. Very miraculously, he seemed to be able to understand what she was trying to say. You want me to come with you? The sword tapped the hilt again. Where are we going? Gu Shan continued to ask. The sword hovered in the air. I can't tell you right now. Gu Shan was a bit surprised. He looked at the war god UI. The second thaumaturgy quest had appeared. Quest name, helping others out of joy. Quest description, help the sword as much as you can to gain its goodwill. Quest objective, complete the sword's request. Description, a good start is half the battle. Please keep up the good work. Gu Shan read it over and over again, then couldn't help but read it again. Strange, why isn't there a reward? Gu Shan asked. System, does this quest not have a reward? Ting. The system answered, please look at the quest name. The quest name is helping others out of joy. All right then. Gu Shan shook his head speechlessly. After that, with the sword in front and Gu Shan behind, they quickly left the camp. Many cultivators looked at this with a strange gaze, but no one said anything. Perhaps this was someone else's sword Dao cultivation method? Not to mention, Gu Shan's mission was to patrol the camp and investigate the military situation. This was a military order personally issued by the three saints. No one could stop him, and no one had any reason to. The journey was smooth. Not even a single person came up to ask questions. Gu Shan left the camp just like that. The sword brought Gu Shan quickly through the forest and into a secluded area. There were only dead trees here. There was nothing else in the forest. There were no signs of humans, not even demons or cultivators. The long sword danced in the air, as if it was looking for something. Gu Shan could only watch from the side. After a while, the sword found the right spot, stabbed into the ground, and stopped moving. So what are we going to do? Gu Shan asked. The sword let out a buzzing sound. Gu Shan felt that she had never encountered such a bizarre thing in her 2 lives. He said helplessly, you want me to hold you? Fine. He walked up and grasped the hilt of the sword. The next moment, the ground suddenly split open, and Gu Shan fell into it along with her sword. In the darkness, the smell of sulfur and earth fire was very heavy. Gu Shan casually cast a basic spell to illuminate the surroundings. It was a lava cave. Hot air blew out from the cave, making people feel like they were in a hot spring. Obviously, there should be a place similar to the 5 elemental spiritual fires deep underground. This place was not far from the surface, so the temperature was still acceptable to ordinary people. Gu Qingshan stood still and looked at the sword. The long sword led the way into the hole. Gu Qingshan had no choice but to follow it. There were a lot of caves and forks here. Every few dozen meters there would be a fork in the road. Every few hundred meters there would be a few more cave entrances. Gu Qingshan tried to release her inner sight, but found that it could only sense a range of 10 meters in front of her, so it couldn't be used to scout ahead. After about half an hour of walking, going through countless forks and caves, Gu Qingshan didn't even know how she got down here. As they went deeper and deeper, the walls of the cave began to glow red. The fire element here was very strong. If Gu Qingshan hadn't used her spirit energy to protect herself, she would have been burnt to a crisp already. How shocking! Who would have thought that the underground of Shunwu world would have such abundant fire element energy? Gu Qingshan exclaimed. After running for another hour or so, the sword finally stopped. It was pointing forward with the tip of its sword. Gu Qingshan followed where it was pointing, only to see that not too far away, there was a deep red lava lake. This lava lake was extremely large. At least Gu Qingshan couldn't see the edge of it. Steam was carried over by the heat flow, mixed with crystal chips and tiny molten lava lumps flying in all directions. This wasn't normal lava, but the outer form of the fire element. If a normal person were to accidentally touch it, they would be burnt to a crisp in an instant. Gu Qingshan squinted her eyes, carefully searched, and finally found the target the sword was pointing at. In the middle of the lava lake, at a place very far away, there was a small protrusion. A sword was stuck there, already glowing red from the heat. The lava lake was about to drown it. The sword occasionally vibrated, but still couldn't get up from where it was stuck. "You want me to save it?" Gu Qingshan asked. The sword next to her nodded its hilt, indicating that it was correct. How strange. If it's a weapon, why is it stuck here? Isn't it afraid that it'll melt at any moment? Gu Qingshan muttered. The sword was shaking a bit. "What? You're saying that there was no lava here?" Gu Qingshan was surprised. "Ah, rain of fire." Gu Qingshan understood. He looked at the vast lava lake, and then at the struggling longsword. He was in a bit of a dilemma. A peak foundation establishment realm cultivator can't fly. I can only use a few hovering techniques right now. The distance between where I'm standing and the center of the lava lake is too far. I can't just use hovering techniques to get there. Even if I try my best to get there, how would I get back? What should I do? If I'm already a Golden Core Realm cultivator, it would be much easier. I can just fly there and pull the sword out. But Shifu isn't here. Gong Sun Ji is still unconscious, and I can't trust anyone else. Shifu had a premonition that she would die in this war. I don't know how she's doing right now. I can't help her at all. As Gu Qingshan thought about it, he sighed. "Let's go back a bit first," he said. The long sword followed behind him, constantly shaking up and down. "Don't be in such a hurry," Gu Qingshan said. "I can't fly there with my current strength." The sword hurriedly circled around him. "I have a plan. When I'm stronger, I'll come back here. It can't hold on much longer. Let it hold on for a bit longer. I'm going to break through right now. If I manage to break through, I'll come back to save it right away," Gu Qingshan sincerely said. It was now that the sword stopped, reluctantly looked at the lava lake for a bit, then hurriedly chased after Gu Qingshan. Gu Qingshan flew back, only stopping when the temperature was acceptable. Grabbing the void of space, he took out the earth sword and put it down. "Fine, since there's no one to protect me, I'll protect myself. If any Qianma or evil cultivators come to attack, I'll use my own strength to kill them all." He solemnly took out the 7-colored fragrance bag. This bag contained the entire wealth of Baihua sect. Gu Qingshan lightly touched the fragrance bag. A J tag appeared in his hand. On the War God UI, War God skills glowed and turned into lines of glowing text. Discovered Foundation Establishment Realm Scripture. 100 Saints Core Formation Script. Your current cultivation realm is Foundation Establishment Peak. To comprehend 100 Saints Core Formation Script. Soul points cost 70. Would you like to comprehend it now? Yes. Comprehension complete. Remaining soul points. 10. A huge flow of heat flowed from the jade tag into Gu Qingshan's hand. The flow of heat flowed from his hand into his body, all the way to his thought sea, then turned into numerous images and understandings. In just a few moments, Gu Qingshan's understanding and experience of breaking through this realm became clear. He took out a few more pills and swallowed them one by one. Closing his eyes, Gu Qingshan began his breakthrough. The cave was completely silent. Not even 15 minutes later, a bewitching and beautiful woman suddenly appeared through the layers of rocks, descending from above. The woman looked at Gu Qingshan, whose eyes were still closed, and licked her lips. This person's soul smells so special. It'll help me advance one step further. Before she could even move, the broken sword suddenly jumped up from next to Gu Qingshan and quickly swung in a circle in the air. The woman uttered a high-pitched scream, rushed forward and struck the broken sword with her fist. Key! The sword was knocked away, pierced into the cave wall, unable to escape. The beautiful woman turned around, about to attack Gu Qingshan, but was stabbed by a sword. Before the woman could even struggle, the sword was already floating in the air, lightly slicing her from head to toe. Without even having time to scream, the beautiful woman turned into a pile of bones and disappeared into the void of space. Gu Qingshan opened his eyes in surprise, looking at the sword. Chapter 317. Gu Qingshan is currently at a crucial point in his cultivation, so he was going to wait for the Tianma to get close to him before suddenly attacking. But the Earth Sword took the initiative to kill the Tianma. Gu Qingshan's inner sight flashed. That's right, this is a divine weapon protecting its master. So the Earth Sword has a spirit. Different from the broken sword stuck in the wall, the Earth Sword is hovering next to him, guarding him. The Earth Sword spoke in a low voice. Focus. Breakthrough. Gu Qingshan calmed himself down, closed his eyes, and entered the breakthrough state again. That's right, this is a very crucial moment. Everything can wait until after he breaks through. Gu Qingshan silently began to use 100 Saints core formation script to break through to Golden Core Realm. Everything is going smoothly, so smoothly that it's almost ridiculous. Ever since the battle with the Holy Church's Pope, Gu Qingshan feels like he's already reached the peak of Foundation Establishment Realm. Because his body was heavily injured before, he couldn't break through. But now he's in a critical situation. His body is completely healed, so it's time for him to seek more power. Gu Qingshan's spirit energy is already full, so his mental state is also at its peak. In the underground passageway that was faintly suffused with red light, the dazzling blue light gathered together and produced a qualitative change. The blue light slowly turned into a blinding white lightning spirit energy, then turned into several lightning snakes, circling around Gu Qingshan. As time goes by, more and more lightning spirit energy gathered to form lightning snakes, swimming around the entire tunnel. Gu Qingshan suddenly opened his eyes, formed a hand seal, and shouted, "Combine!" In a split second, all the lightning snakes combined into one, turning into a lightning dragon. The dragon circled around a bit, then suddenly descended and drilled into Gu Qingshan's head. This is spirit manifestation, representing a cultivator's foundation establishment. Realm cultivation has reached the peak. A golden core isn't a round in. Golden core realm is when a cultivator's spirit energy breaks free from its muddled state, slowly awakening and turning into a unique spirit object. This spirit object is called spirit manifestation. Materialized spirit light was much more powerful than spirit force. It could be used to attack others, but it could also be used to defend oneself. It could also be used for refining, alchemy, divination, formation construction, and so on. Forming the manifestation spirit light wasn't too difficult. Being able to do this meant that he was halfway through his breakthrough. Next, he had to absorb the terrifyingly powerful spiritual light into his dantian. Once the spirit light was completely absorbed into the dantian, the body wouldn't die because of this, and the golden core realm would be achieved. This was an extremely dangerous process that could easily injure one's dantian. Many cultivators fell at this moment. Even more people had their dantian severely injured and had to spend a few years recuperating before they could attempt to break through again. Gu Qingshan carefully guided the light, refining it bit by bit. Even if he had completely comprehended the 100 Sages core formation method, he still had to be extremely careful during the process. At this time, a ghost-faced monster peeked its head out from the void of space. The monster's aura was brilliant, and the fiery red light in the air was dyed black by it. It stared at Gu Qingshan, drooling. What a tempting piece of flesh! Before it could finish, the earth sword flashed. The monster screamed in pain as it was pierced into pieces. The monster also disappeared into the void of space. The earth sword returned, hovering in front of Gu Qingshan, and continued to protect her. Gu Qingshan was still refining the light. A few moments later, the surroundings were filled with all sorts of strange noises. Muffled whispers, the sounds of tearing, chewing, swallowing, screaming, cursing, crying, all sorts of different sounds, too many to count. The earth sword flew up, circled around in the air, then abruptly emitted an invisible force. A heavy mountainous voice came from the earth sword, echoing throughout the entire cave. All Tianma and heretics, get close and die. Ho! An intense wind blew. The invisible shockwave turned into a gust of wind, howling back and forth in the cave. In a split second, the gust of wind scattered. All sounds returned to silence. No more sounds could be heard from the void of space. It was now that the earth sword returned, hovering next to Gu Qingshan. Time slowly passed. A phantom dragon suddenly manifested from Gu Qingshan's back. This phantom gave off a blinding glow of elemental lightning. The refinement had reached its final moments. Gu Qingshan wasn't afraid, instead entering a state of oblivion. He attached his divine sense to the dragon-shaped shadow and carefully and quickly refined it, as if he was spinning silk from a cocoon. The phantom dragon slowly disappeared, while Gu Qingshan's presence continued to rise. When the phantom dragon completely disappeared, Gu Qingshan's spirit energy also skyrocketed. All of a sudden, a crack appeared in the void of space. Gu Qingshan felt himself leaving his body, being sucked into the chaotic space vortex. A mysterious force was pulling him towards a certain direction. Along the way, many strange things brushed past him. A time tortoise that was taller than a mountain, dragging a small island behind it, slowly moving through the space-time vortex. Dozens of bewitching and beautiful heavenly enchantresses were riding colorful flower petals, singing a beautiful song as they flew towards a glowing door. A phantom soul that looked exactly like him flew past him with a fearful expression, fell into a large vortex, and disappeared without a trace. Gu Qingshan could even see a black lighthouse slowly disappearing from below the space-time vortex. As Gu Qingshan flew, he felt a familiar sensation. Instinctively, he understood that he was heading towards the world of the bronze pillar. Within the space-time vortex, there was no concept of time, so Gu Qingshan didn't know how long he had been floating. Suddenly, the force pulling him became stronger. This force was like a rapid torrent, crowding around and pushing him, bringing him into a world of ignorance. Gu Qingshan's vision blurred. Then a pillar appeared in front of him. The bronze pillar. Another bronze pillar. The bronze pillar stood tall, so tall that he couldn't even see the top or the bottom. A 10-story tall corpse was nailed to the body of the bronze pillar. The corpse's head was lowered, wearing a full set of black armor, seemingly dead for who knows how long. Below the corpse, the world was filled with black skeletons. The skeletons were trying their best to climb up the bronze pillar. It was clear that they wanted the corpse. "Long time no see," Gu Qingshan said. "It hasn't been that long. I've only been here for 15 minutes, the corpse in the black armor replied. "You didn't answer the question from last time. I need that answer," Gu Qingshan said. "Ah, that question, you saw it last time as well. As soon as I answer it, I'll be hit by the lightning of extinction." The giant corpse changed the topic and asked, "Do you still remember our deal? When I'm strong enough, I'll definitely save you, Gu Qingshan replied. Very well, the corpse's tone was a bit pleased. As a mutual promise, I'll answer that question, but only after a while. Why? Because as soon as I tell you that, I'll be punished. My power won't be able to keep you here. The corpse paused, a bit surprised. You have the presence of several worlds on you, which means you're currently at war? Yes, I'm currently in another world, Gu Qingshan answered. Sure enough, there's an eternal struggle between worlds. The corpse sighed emotionally. Gu Qingshan had something on her mind, so she didn't pay much attention to what it said and quickly asked, if a sainted realm cultivator has a premonition that they're about to die, will this premonition always come true? The corpse answered, the stronger they are, if they have a premonition, the easier it is for that premonition to come true. The corpse continued. Sainted realm can already cross the river of fate and faintly see their own future. In other words, it will definitely come true. Gu Qingshan didn't give up and asked, not completely, but there's a 90% chance it will come true. Is there a way to avoid it? The corpse paused, then said, look at me. I'm 10,000 times stronger than a sainted realm cultivator, but I couldn't avoid the premonition. Gu Qingshan fell silent. The corpse continued, but it's not like there's no way at all. Gu Qingshan hurriedly asked, what should I do? The corpse mocked himself. Take me as an example. The premonition has already told me what will happen to me, but I can't do anything about it because no one can help me. I'm so strong that I don't even have a single friend. That's why I ended up like this. You think someone can help you? It can't be that simple. Gu Qingshan was a bit doubtful. The corpse answered, this is like a river full of undercurrents. When you're about to sink to the bottom, you need someone to give you a push in order for you to deviate from your intended path at the most crucial moment. The most crucial push might be able to change the premonition of death, but you have to remember, the one who pushes you will have to pay the price. What price? A life for a life. No, that's not necessarily the case. I don't know what the price is, but there are bound to be some unknown and unpredictable things that happen. The giant corpse reminded her. I hope that the one who pushes you isn't you, because you're still too weak. You won't be able to handle anything too strange. I understand. Chapter 3:18. At the top of the bronze pillar, extremely far away in the sky, large clusters of light were flashing by one after another. These clusters of light seemed to be sentient as they slowly moved beyond the sky, lingering for a long time without leaving. From the looks of it, they seemed to be peeking at the world below. What is that? Gu Qingshan asked. The giant corpse sighed and spoke. Why are they here? I need to borrow power to chase these annoying corpse eaters away. There's not much time left. I no longer have enough power to keep you here. Gu Qingshan hurriedly spoke. Then please tell me the answer. How do I stop the demons from corrupting the world? Of course, it's to collect the main elemental roots of a world, refine them into a thread of law, then bring it to another world. This thread will guide its original world. The huge bronze pillar surged with violent lightning. The corpse's voice stopped. Gu Qingshan hurriedly asked, what will happen if it guides the world? The heavenly thunder suddenly descended. The intense destructive lightning caused Gu Qingshan's entire soul to tremble. Instantly, the entire bronze pillar was enveloped in lightning. All the skeletons on the ground were smashed to pieces, turning the ground into a sea of black skeletons. The lightning completely covered the black corpse without leaving even a single gap. This wasn't normal lightning. It had already gone beyond the realm of lightning. This was a power that could destroy everything. Outside the sky, the clusters of light seemed to be frightened and scattered. They didn't stop and quickly disappeared without a trace. Gu Qingshan gritted his teeth and asked in a loud voice, what will happen to the world? Tell me. Finally, a voice filled with pain resounded by his ears. We'll be fused by another world. The corpse's voice was broken, but it insisted. Another world, living beings will become stronger. Boom. The entire sky was filled with lightning. In the next second, bolts of lightning that were even more terrifying than before struck the bronze pillar. The corpse in the black armor coughed up blood. There was only the sound of thunder in this world. No other words could be heard. At the same time, An invisible force appeared around Gu Qingshan's body. Gu Qingshan immediately understood that she was about to leave this place. I really have to thank you this time. Gu Qingshan shouted at the corpse. I know you have tried your best. One day, I will come and save you. As soon as he finished speaking, the invisible pushing force turned into a violent pulling force, pulling Gu Qingshan out of this world. This force was much more powerful and merciless than when it had first arrived. Gu Qingshan almost instantly flew through the space-time vortex and returned to Shunwu world. The moment he entered from outside the world, he vaguely saw a blurry shadow in the sky above the world. What's that? Gu Qingshan wanted to take a closer look, but it was already too late. He rushed into Shunwu world and went underground. The next moment, Gu Qingshan abruptly opened her eyes and realized that she was still sitting cross-legged in the lava cave. He stood up and patted the dust off his body. His sleeves fluttered without any wind, exuding an immense amount of spirit energy, as if he could control the air around him at any time. Gu Qingshan's body lightly floated in the air. His golden core has been formed. From now on, he is broken free from the shackles of the land, able to fly above the clouds and travel through the dark. Gu Qingshan silently sensed it, feeling the spirit energy around him surging, able to unleash a powerful attack at any time. This power, it seems the power of the sword phantoms has also increased by at least 2 times. Gu Qingshan smiled, very satisfied with this breakthrough. This is the scripture that Shifu used to cultivate. The benefits of breaking through with this method are not something normal scriptures can compare to. After checking it out, he clasped his fist towards the earth sword. Thank you for your protection. No need to be so polite. In our previous battles, you have proven to me that you are a qualified sword cultivator. I believe that you are qualified to wield me. The earth sword's voice was as heavy as a mountain. The earth sword flew towards him. Gu Qingshan held the sword in his hand. The earth sword let out a woo-woo-woo sound, sighed, and continued. Ling Air is about to die, and you haven't matured yet. I can't just watch as that happens. The calamity is right in front of us. I will release the seal on my power and fight alongside you as soon as he said so. A few notifications popped up on the War God UI. A special storyline has appeared. Attention user. A special storyline has appeared. Attention user. A special storyline has appeared. Attention user. The 3 notifications disappeared, followed by a large line of text. The Earth Sword has awoken. Description. In your previous battles, you have gained the Earth Sword's recognition. It has decided to fight alongside you. The Earth Sword weighs 86,370,000 tons, has the artifact Spirit Thaumaturgy. Bear your own weight. This sword is a divine weapon used to offer sacrifices to heaven and earth in the age of old, capable of communicating with the divinities. The system has noticed that the sky is about to collapse. The world is about to collapse, but the earth sword has awoken. Its attitude will cause a subtle effect on everything. As soon as Gu Qingshan finished reading, the notifications disappeared. Following that, a streak of light appeared on the War God UI, forming a line of blood-red text in the middle. Detected that the user has triggered a special storyline. Current conditions met activation criteria. Activating Destiny Quest. Destiny Quest. Didn't the Destiny Quest start already? Gu Qingshan immediately looked down. Destiny Quest. Decisive Battle 2 has been modified to break the chains of fate and change the direction of the world. The user Gu Qingshan has entered the Destiny Quest. Quest description. As the fate of the world and your individual fates converge, at the moment of chaos, you have gained the Earth Sword's recognition. Everything in your fate will be changed. Quest objective. In the future, at least make sure that Shunwu world remains the same. Because the Earth Sword has joined the battle, you have received a new quest reward. Quest reward 2. Sealed Sphere, one-time consumable. Sealed Sphere. The system has stored the last thing of your past life in the form of a sealed sphere. When you need it, the system will give it back to you. Attention, this item is a one-time consumable. It must be used as soon as it is opened, otherwise it will disappear. This will be an extremely difficult and dangerous battle. To ensure that the user does not die prematurely, Quest Reward 1. War God Title, Quest Reward 2. Sealed Sphere have been released ahead of time. If the quest fails, Rewards 1 and 2 will be revoked. The user will not be able to increase their cultivation for the next 3 years. Gu Qingshan was shocked. Now that he has gained the Earth Sword's recognition, the War God UI no longer wants him to search for the truth of the world, but instead wants him to make sure that Shenwu world remains the same. A quest that has already been given can suddenly change. Something like this has never happened before. Even in the past life, this didn't happen. This is most likely due to the Earth Sword. From the system's description, this sword should be a divine armament. Chapter 319. Gu Qingshan held the Earth Sword and read through the quest description again. Since there were words like, the sky is about to fall, the world is about to collapse, the system must have noticed something. Shenwu world will definitely change greatly from now on. Secondly, the sealed sphere has to be used as soon as it's opened, otherwise it'll disappear. It's hard to even guess what it is. Gu Qingshan couldn't help but ask, System, what exactly is inside this sealed sphere? Ting, the system replied. The system isn't sure what it is either, it was too chaotic at the time, so the system randomly drew a type of power from your body in case it needed to travel through time. But it was a success, so I haven't used it, so it's left. The sealed sphere only keeps this power in place. It doesn't completely seal it. You could try to sense it to see what it is. Fine, Gu Qingshan helplessly said. But in the past life, I've already reached the level of Sword Saint, so the things I use are quite powerful. Gu Qingshan raised the sealed sphere in front of her and carefully sensed it. 2 flickering rays of light shone out of the sealed sphere. One of them carried the sealed sphere, slightly vibrating in Gu Qingshan's hand. The other force followed closely behind, constantly chasing after the first force. So, it's Summoned Soul Karma Sword. Unfortunately, it's useless in this world. Gu Qingshan appeared nostalgic, a bit surprised and disappointed. This sword style isn't very powerful, but because it's related to the laws of the world, it has a special place among the many sword styles. There are 2 styles in total. The first style, Summoned Soul Sword, relies on the relic of the dead to summon souls from the samsara to attack the enemy. The second style, Karma Sword, is a sure hit style. Its power comes from the total damage the soul can deal to the enemy. Unfortunately, the souls come from the samsara, so they don't have a physical body, so they can't deal much damage to the enemy. So even if this style is sure hit, it won't be able to unleash much of its power. In the past life, Summoned Soul Karma Sword was specifically used to deal with God's chosens who have powerful abilities but weak bodies. In both the cultivation world and Shenwu world, cultivator's soul vessel and body are both very powerful, so this sword style shouldn't be of much use. At this point, the earth sword in his hand stopped for a bit, as if asking him why he was silent. Since you've removed the seal, then I'll also be putting my life on the line. Gu Qingshan spoke seriously. None of our Baihua sect will die. I'll do everything in my power to change everything. A heavy voice resounded from the earth sword. That is how it should be. I shall fight by your side at this point. Lines of notifications appeared on the War God UI. Player has successfully advanced to Golden Core Realm. Soul power limit expanded to 100. Currently, soul power has greatly increased the player's cultivation. According to the player's memory, the sword techniques that will not cause the player's body or soul to collapse are as follows. Secret Art, Drawn Shadow. As the user has a deep understanding of all sword styles, the soul points required to awaken past sword styles has been minimized. Awakening Secret Art, Drawn Shadow costs 10 soul points. Do you wish to awaken the Secret Art? Looking at this Secret Art, Gu Qingshan was full of emotions. This was a secret sword that he had discovered in an ancient ruin in his previous life when the final battle was nearing. Unfortunately, he found it too late. As soon as he memorized the sword's contents, the final battle had already begun. This secret art didn't even have time to shine before it disappeared along with that world. Now that he's returned, all of his memories have been sealed, and because of the secret art's power, awakening it requires soul points. But soul points can be obtained by killing enemies. Looking at the earth sword in his hand, Gu Qingshan was suddenly filled with pride. I'm walking on a path that's constantly searching for power. From now on, I'll surpass myself step by step. I want to awaken this secret art, Gu Qingshan said. User has spent 10 soul points, secret art. Drawn shadow has been awakened. At this point, Gu Qingshan has a total of 4 secret arts: Water Flow Severance, Crescent Slash, 7 Stars Flowing Dragon, and Drawn Shadow. Holding the Earth Sword, Gu Qingshan walked in front of the lava wall. Hesitating, he still hasn't attacked yet. Don't worry, the Earth Sword's voice resounded in his mind. I can sense how much force you want to use. It won't collapse this place in one strike. Then that's good. Gu Qingshan sighed in relief. If every strike is 86,370,000 tons of force, then no matter how much force I use, this lava cave will definitely collapse. From now on, he won't be able to use any non-lethal moves. Fortunately, the Earth Sword has a spirit, able to communicate with him and understand his intentions. Gu Qingshan held the Earth Sword and lightly knocked on the lava wall. The wall loosened, shaking the broken sword out. The broken sword shook a bit, then quickly circled around Gu Qingshan. Don't rush me. You're making me dizzy, Gu Qingshan scowled. Who would have thought that the sword would spin even faster? Fine, I'll go now, Gu Qingshan helplessly said. From Golden Core onwards, a cultivator can already fly as they please, going in and out of the blue. And now he can go and get the sword. Gu Qingshan once again arrived at the edge of the lava lake, lightly leapt into the air and flew. He flew all the way to the center of the lava lake, hovered in the air, and lightly touched the hilt of the broken sword with the Earth Sword. Clang! The sword flew up from the lava and landed on the shore of the lava lake. With a clang, the sword hit the ground and didn't move for a while. The broken sword flew up and tapped the sword with its tip, as if it was calling out to it. The sword was burned bright red, slowly stood up, turned around, and finally saw Gu Qingshan. It lightly tapped the hilt of the sword towards Gu Qingshan. No need to be so polite. It was nothing, Gu Qingshan replied. He looked at his quest UI. Quest name: Helping others is a joy. Quest description: Do everything within your power to help the sword and gain its goodwill. Quest objective: Complete the sword's request. Description: A successful start. Please keep up the good work. Completion status: Incomplete. What? It's still incomplete? Didn't I already save this sword? As Gu Qingshan turned around, he saw the 2 swords flying towards him, circling around him. Stop spinning. I'm dizzy. Fine, I'll go save it. Gu Qingshan had no choice but to fly up again, crossing the lava lake and heading deeper into the cave. The surrounding temperature was getting hotter and hotter. The air itself was warping, making it impossible to see what's ahead of them. Gu Qingshan scowled, then released his inner sight to scout ahead. For some reason, inner sight can only be released up to 10 meters away. Aside from scouting, there's nothing else it can do. This cave is incredibly deep. Even with Gu Qingshan's speed as a Golden Core cultivator, it took him about half an hour to reach the entrance of the cave. It was a long journey. The 2 swords hovered at the entrance of the cave. Outside the entrance was a dark mist that gave off a red glow. We're here? Oh, we're finally here. Gu Qingshan sighed in relief and walked to the entrance of the cave. He looked out of the cave and his expression suddenly changed. This is a scorching hot gust of wind rose from the ground, blowing Gu Qingshan's hair and clothes upwards. Gu Qingshan's expression was solemn. Outside the cave was a bottomless cliff. At the bottom of the cliff, boiling lava covered the ground and continued to flow into the depths of the earth. Gu Qingshan observed the lava for a while. Then he suddenly said, "This isn't right. It really isn't right. The lava seems to be sentient, moving extremely quickly like a flowing river. As long as they found a crack, all the lava would immediately rush up and try to melt that area. But real lava isn't like this. The ground was constantly being melted by the lava, but the lava was also slowly sinking deeper into the ground." Seeing that he had reached the entrance of the cave, the 2 swords flew towards the other side of the cliff, quickly disappearing into the void of darkness. Gu Qingshan was a bit surprised, but then saw the 2 swords flying back, swinging slightly as if urging him. All right. Gu Qingshan leapt up and flew above the river of lava. The two swords were flying in front of him while Gu Qingshan was flying behind, quickly reaching the other side. This was the other side of the cliff. There was also a cave entrance here. At the entrance, there was a small winding path that seemed to lead straight underground. As Gu Qingshan landed and was about to take a step forward, he suddenly flew back and carefully observed the cave. He touched the outside of the cliff, then casually released a light to illuminate his surroundings, only to see that the vertical surface of the cliff was wavy and lumpy. The gray mud-like outer layer hung down from the top of the cliff, forming a vertical, multifaceted pillar that was full of cracks. This was a scene that would only appear after the lava passed through the surface of the ground. A shocking truth appeared in Gu Qingshan's mind. This lava was falling straight down from the ground, continuously corroding and dissolving as it went deeper into the ground. Is this all caused by the rain of fire? Gu Qingshan asked. The two swords were vibrating at once. It really is a rain of fire. How could it be like this? Gu Qingshan muttered. The cooling process of lava was a very quick one, but this lava had been burning all the way from the surface all the way down to the ground. The only way for this lava to maintain its temperature was if it was sentient, or if it was fueled by spirit energy. But who would be able to fuel such a terrifying rain of fire? After all, the rain of fire in the sky never stopped. If it was a cultivator, their spirit energy wouldn't be able to keep up with this level of consumption. No cultivator would be able to do such a thing, not even the three saints. While Gu Qingshan was thinking, the two swords returned and circled around him. All right, let's go. He silently remembered this and followed the swords into the lava cave again. The long journey began again. Chapter 320. In this part of the lava cave, more and more paths appeared one after another. If it weren't for the two swords leading the way, Gu Qingshan felt that she wouldn't have been able to make it this far. They trekked for several hours. The air became thick and hot. The temperature quickly rose. Gu Qingshan couldn't help but release her spirit energy to cut herself off from the outside world. Suddenly, a faintly discernible presence appeared, causing Gu Qingshan to be cautious. Spirit energy wave? Such pure spirit energy. He frowned in surprise. Who would have thought there would be spirit energy waves in this kind of place? Ever since entering Shunwu world, other than the demons, the cultivators haven't seen any living beings. They did find a few sainted realm martial cultivators' corpses, but this time they didn't find anything. According to the three saints' deductions, humanity in this world has already been wiped out by the demons. But right now, Gu Qingshan sensed spirit energy. That's a bit unimaginable. This place is already very far from the surface. The lava cave is filled with holes. It's almost impossible to go back the way they came. With the earth sword in hand, Gu Qingshan carefully moved forward. In front of another lava cave, the two swords finally stopped. Gu Qingshan flew forward, looked outside, then exclaimed in shock, "How is this possible?" Outside of the cave was another cliff. But the bottom of this cliff wasn't flowing lava. It was a dry lake. In the middle of the lake, there was a hole about the size of a bowl. The abundant spiritual energy turned into white mist and rose from the hole. The two swords moved in the air, then dropped down. Gu Qingshan's body moved, following them down. As soon as her feet touched the ground, Gu Qingshan quickly walked in front of the bowl-sized hole. Inside this small hole, there was a thin layer of water. A small fish was floating listlessly in the water. Seeing this, Gu Qingshan forgot everything else. The Shunwu world where all living beings are extinct. Who would have thought there would still be such a small fish hiding deep underground? The spiritual qi here was so abundant. It was obvious that this place used to be a spirit vein, and the earth spring just happened to grow in the spirit vein. Although the surroundings had been completely evaporated by the high temperature, leaving only the mouth of the spring the size of a bowl, the fish was still tenaciously living. This is the miracle of life. It might be the last life in this world. Thinking of this, Gu Qingshan immediately patted her storage pouch and released a few dozen square meters of spirit spring. This was collected from the most famous spirit spring in Baihua, Immortal Country. Normally, Gu Qingshan used this spring water to wash herself and drink tea. Cold and full of water vapor filled this space. The lethargic little fish sensed the cold air and immediately twisted its body, jumping out of the water and looking at the spirit spring. There was a thirst in its eyes. The two long swords pointed at the sword hilt in unison, as if hinting for it to enter quickly. See how you looked? At Gu Qingshan. Gu Qingshan said, "Come." Little fish immediately rushed into the spirit spring. It swam around inside the spirit spring, clearly very excited. The two swords were also hovering on the side, watching this without moving. Suddenly, the little fish jumped out of the water, swam in front of Gu Qingshan, then pointed at his forehead 3 times. With each tap, a white dot of light would enter between Gu Qingshan's eyebrows. After 3 taps, 3 glowing dots appeared on Gu Qingshan's forehead. The light slowly fused into one and entered between his eyebrows. After these 3 taps, the little fish returned to the water and continued to enjoy the cool air. Feeling a cold sensation, Gu Qingshan felt very comfortable. A few lines of notification appeared on the War God UI. The system did not provide any reward, but you've obtained a gift from an unknown entity. You've obtained a dragonfish pearl. Dragonfish pearl. Able to heal wounds on the soul vessel in an extremely short amount of time. This is a rare treasure. Feeling the cool sensation on his forehead, Gu Qingshan looked at the little fish in surprise. "Thank you very much," he said. The fish jumped out of the water, then dived back in again a few times in a row. From the looks of it, it seems to be saying thank you for the spirit spring. Gu Qingshan nodded, then told the fish and the 2 swords, "If there's nothing else, we'll leave first." Unexpectedly, the 2 swords began to circle around him again. "Is there anything else?" "All right, lead the way," Gu Qingshan helplessly said. And so, the 2 swords led the way. Gu Qingshan was in the middle. The fish carried the spirit spring and hovered in the air, continuing to move forward. At the bottom of the cliff, besides the spirit spring, there were countless lava caves. Not too long after they left, red lava slowly flowed out from the cave they came from. This underground area was slowly being surrounded by lava, and the spirit spring that was originally giving off abundant spirit essence was no longer able to resist the heat, nor was there any spirit essence left. After the little fish left, the spirit spring quickly dried up and disappeared. At this point, Gu Qingshan, together with the 2 swords and the floating fish, had already gone very far. They went into one lava cave after another, once again entering the long and arduous journey. A few hours later, the heat slowly subsided. A chilling air slowly filled the air as they moved forward. Cold air. Gu Qingshan scowled. How could there be cold air at such a deep place? While she was thinking, the 2 swords stopped at the entrance of the cave. Gu Qingshan walked forward, stood at the entrance, and looked outside. The cliff again. What was different from the previous times was that this was the true end. Outside the cave was an endless abyss of cold. Whether you look up, level up, or down, all you could see was darkness. Gu Qingshan couldn't see anything. Even his inner sight couldn't sense anything. He tapped his inventory bag, took out a jade bottle, and threw it into the abyss of darkness. In the blink of an eye, the jade bottle turned into fine sand, falling down into the abyss. Gu Qingshan was shocked. Such terrifying power, almost like sword phantoms that had been condensed to the extreme. Beside him, 2 long swords danced in the air, one above the other, as if they were trying to signal something. "I'll die if I get close." "Don't worry, I won't go over," Gu Qingshan replied. He couldn't help but ask, "But what are we doing here?" The 2 swords started to cut away at the wall of lava, slowly peeling away the rock to reveal what was inside. It was a small formation plate covered in dust and ash, looking very old. This place was completely cut off from inner sight. If the 2 swords didn't act, Gu Qingshan wouldn't have known that there was a formation plate here. The two swords carefully cut away all the dirt. The small fish lightly swung its tail, using a stream of water to wash the formation plate clean. The stream of water turned into a hand, lightly holding the formation plate in front of Gu Qingshan. A teleportation formation plate? I'll come back after I get stronger? Gu Qingshan asked. The two swords and the fish both nodded. They stared deeply at Gu Qingshan for a while, then flew into the abyss of darkness. They disappeared. As Gu Qingshan held the formation plate, the war god UI appeared. Golden Core Thaumaturgy Drawing Quest 2. Helping others has been completed. If you cannot become stronger, you'll not be able to trigger the third quest. You will receive the final evaluation of the thaumaturgy drawing based on the completion rate of both quests. After reading through this, Gu Qingshan silently stood there for a while. What is it? The Earth Sword's heavy voice came. I want to know, what should I do to save Shifu's life? Gu Qingshan asked. Chapter 3:21. On the path of cultivation, you can't be too hasty. At your age, you're already quite decent among humanity, the Earth Sword consoled him. I'm decent. Gu Qingshan laughed deprecatingly at himself. His voice was a bit lonely. Just now they said that I'm still too weak, that if I could become strong enough before a certain point in time, I'll be qualified to participate in what's coming next. That black corpse also said I'm too weak. Even my quest thinks I'm too weak. Then what do you plan to do? The Earth Sword asked. Gu Qingshan went silent for a bit, not saying anything. He put his hand on the formation plate and infused it with spirit energy. In a split second, he disappeared. UG camp. They still haven't returned? Gu Qingshan asked. A chaplain answered. Yes. General Ning sent a communication talisman to send quite a few cultivators to reinforce them. Bring me the map. Yes. The map was quickly presented. Gu Qingshan opened the map and asked, Where is it? The chaplain pointed at a certain direction. What's the situation? Gu Qingshan asked. They ran into a large horde of demons, too many to kill. So they fell into a tug-of-war. Unable to escape, Gu Qingshan returned the map to the chaplain and quickly left. He put on the UG general armor and left the tent. The airship flew to the sky. A few dozen miles away from the main battlefield, the sound of fighting could already be heard. Countless spells were being fired, flying straight into the horde of demons. The demon army rushed forward, disregarding everything else to attack the cultivators. The cultivators continued to advance, not taking a single step back. At the center of the battlefield, a few dozen meters tall giant demons were wreaking havoc. A few dozen sprites of spirit energy were circling around them. As soon as they found a chance, they would unleash a powerful spell attack. While the battle was going on, an airship silently landed at the edge of the battlefield. The entire battlefield was a few hundred miles long. Almost all the demons were at the edge of it. So when the airship landed, no one noticed it at all. Gu Qingshan is wearing a light golden gorilla armor. She retracts the flying boat and shows herself. He glanced at the war god UI, then at his soul points value. Current soul points, 0 out of 100. After a moment of silence, Gu Qingshan put on the silver mask and grabbed the Earth Sword from the void of space. He looked up at the battlefield. All the cultivators in this area had died in battle. As the main battlefield was in a stalemate, the reinforcements had all gone to reinforce the main battlefield. As far as Gu Qingshan's eyes could see, all he could see was a sea of demons. Let's go all out, he said. Very well, the Earth Sword replied. A split second later, the Earth Sword in his hand felt a bit heavier, then quickly went back to normal. Gu Qingshan knew that the Earth Sword had fully released its 86,370,000 tons of weight. He looked at his title skill. From UG General, 15 Sword, Talented General, and Ace Assassin, he picked out Ace Assassin and locked onto him. Title: Ace Assassin. Assassin's title has been overwritten. Description: you used a single strike to kill an opponent stronger than yourself. Equipping this title grants you the skill Harvest Advanced. Harvest Advanced whenever you kill an opponent in one strike. The spirit energy used for that strike will be fully replenished. Gu Qingshan quickly walked towards the battlefield. At the edge of the battlefield, a group of demons felt the spirit energy fluctuation and turned to look. It was a lone human cultivator. "That's great. This is meat delivered to my doorstep. What delicious meat!" The demon screeched, rushing to attack Gu Qingshan. The sea of demons charged straight at him. Gu Qingshan's knees bent a bit. A split second later, he disappeared. A golden light exploded into the endless black tide, turning into a white crescent sword phantom that killed countless demons. After the sword phantom, the sharp wind blew away thousands of piles of blood. Within the wind, Gu Qingshan appeared. He faced off against thousands of demons. His sword turned into an invisible shadow. All the resistance, all the parrying, were useless against the Earth Sword. The sharp sword turned an entire group of demons into a river of blood. A notification popped up on the War God UI, quickly scrolling across the screen. Determined instant kill, spirit energy returned. 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 Gu Qingshan flicked the blood off the Earth Sword and continued heading towards the center of the battlefield. Right now, killing Foundation Establishment Realm demons won't give him any soul points, so he needs to find stronger demons. Along the way, Gu Qingshan didn't even bother to look at the low-tiered demons, just casually swinging his sword to kill them, but not a single one was a match for him. Clang! A loud noise. Gu Qingshan took a few steps back, observing the demon in front of him. This was a golden core late-stage winged unicorn demon. Its speed was as fast as lightning, usually used for assassinations and quick attacks in battle. Even Rejuvenation Realm cultivators couldn't catch up to it. The winged unicorn demon glanced at Gu Qingshan, smirked, then disappeared again. Gu Qingshan raised the Earth Sword without changing his expression. He suddenly thrust his sword forward. The winged unicorn demon appeared from the void of space, barely dodging this strike. This strike was so exquisite that the winged unicorn demon couldn't help but increase its speed to its limit to avoid it. The winged unicorn demon roared in a low voice, bypassing the sword, about to ram into Gu Qingshan's chest to take out Gu Qingshan's heart. Then something happened. Bam, 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 bam. 5 black sword phantoms struck its body, giving off a dull thud as if they were hitting mud. The winged unicorn demon didn't even have time to think before it was smashed to pieces by the unparalleled power, its body parts scattered all over the ground. A notification popped up on the War God UI. Determined instant kill, spirit energy returned. Soul points plus 50. The spirit energy in his Dantian was once again replenished. Gu Qingshan sheathed his sword. Black sword phantoms were still appearing around him, attacking in every direction. Secret art, drawn shadow. When this secret art is used, countless sword phantoms will appear at the same time, attacking together with the main sword. The number of sword phantoms is determined by the sword cultivator's swordsmanship level and realm. Each sword phantom has the same power as the main sword. The battle just now had attracted the attention of many demons, so they all rushed forward. Gu Qingshan lowered his sword, walking forward step by step. Numerous black sword phantoms appeared from the void of space, surrounding him as he moved forward. The drawn shadow just now still hasn't finished unleashing all of its swords. From the perspective of swordsmanship alone, ever since 100 Flowers Fairy taught him, Gu Qingshan had already surpassed himself. After that, after going through so many battles, Gu Qingshan had reached a height he had never reached before. Because of that, as soon as he unleashed Drawn Shadow, the sword phantoms would continue without stopping. Thousands of demons swarmed towards him like a tidal wave, but Gu Qingshan didn't even bother to look at them and calmly walked towards the center of the battlefield. Layers upon layers of black sword phantoms surrounded him, appearing, disappearing, then reappearing. Before the demons could even get close, they were already cut to pieces by the endless sword phantoms. Each strike was 86,370,000 tons of force, accompanied by sharp sword phantoms. The sword phantoms exploded. Gu Qingshan was like a walking meat grinder, quickly and efficiently harvesting the demons' lives. 2 lines of notification popped up on the War God UI. Determined instant kill, spirit energy returned. 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 Soul points plus 10, soul points plus 8, soul points plus 11, soul points plus 15. Chapter 3:22. After a while, Gu Qingshan suddenly stopped. He tapped his inventory bag and took out a jade tag. This was the golden core scripture that 100 Flowers Fairy prepared for him. Bai Hua Rejuvenation Script. Golden core scripture. Bai Hua Rejuvenation Script. This scripture is split into 3 parts. The first part requires 30 soul points. The second part requires 60 soul points. The third part requires 120 soul points. Gu Qingshan looked at his soul points. It's gone from 0 to 174. It's still not enough to fully comprehend the entire scripture. He raised his sword, turning into a white streak of light as he charged into the horde of demons. Black blood rained down, splashing everywhere. The data once again refreshed. A demon covered in flames noticed him, screeched, and leapt at him, trying to ambush him from behind. This was a rejuvenation realm high-level demon. As soon as Gu Qingshan finished his attack, he only had time to turn around and use the earth sword and golden armor to block. A loud sound. Gu Qingshan turned into a golden streak of light, sent flying a few dozen feet away. He stood up again with the earth sword on his shoulder. His title skill changed to UG General. A few moments later, he disappeared. The sword was invisible, tearing the air apart. 3 strikes in a row. As soon as the sword touched the demon, a piece of its flesh was cut off. Even with the demon's rejuvenation realm late-stage strength, it couldn't stop the sword at all. It wasn't until the 4th strike that the demon used all of its power to form a complete defensive stance. Who knew that the terrifying human sword cultivator would suddenly disappear, and a stab filled with lightning struck the demon from behind. As soon as the strike hit, the demon froze in place, twitching uncontrollably. The 5th strike, the 6th strike, the 7th strike. Gu Qingshan suppressed the power of each strike, but didn't kill it. 7 blinding lights appeared on the earth sword. Gu Qingshan changed his title again, this time to Talented General. Raising his sword, a secret art was unleashed. 7 stars flowing dragon. Crisscrossing, sword chi. A lightning dragon rose from the earth sword, bit the demon in its mouth, and rushed into the sea of demons. Lightning was born to restrain all evil spirits, and its lethality was multiplied. Wherever the lightning dragon passed, all the demons screamed in pain and were instantly turned into ashes. Notifications popped up again on the War God UI. Soul points plus 100, soul power plus 7, soul power plus 11. Right after that, the sword chi turned into another 5-clawed spirit dragon that leapt out from the earth sword, flying in another direction, wreaking havoc on the battlefield, killing countless demons and bursting into a mist of blood. Twin Dragon Slayer. Gu Qingshan sheathed her sword, patted her storage pouch, took out a few essence-replenishing pills, chewed them, and swallowed them. At the Golden Core Realm, he could already withstand the 7 stars flowing dragon, but it consumed a lot of spirit energy. A long notification popped up on the War God UI. Gu Qingshan looked at the War God UI. You've been using ground shrink a lot during intense battles. The skill has now been upgraded. Divine skill, ground shrink. Advanced randomly select a location, or by locking onto an enemy's presence, use a special movement technique to break through the restraints of space and appear at the corresponding location. Casting range. Inner sight range. The casting range jumped from 30 meters to the range of inner sight range. The increase was quite significant. The range of inner sight will increase as a cultivator's realm increases. Every time the 100 Flowers Fairy used this skill, she was able to do it from a few hundred meters away, without any problems, probably because of this. Gu Qingshan was glad. Furthermore, as the two dragons killed so many people in a row, his soul points was also changing. Current soul points, 560, that's enough. Gu Shan immediately said, I choose to comprehend the full by Hua nascent script. User has comprehended the full by Hua nascent script, soul points used, 210. Remaining soul points, 371,372,377,391, 416. His soul points were still increasing at an insane rate. Gu Shan stood still, waiting until he had completely digested all the information he just learned before changing his war god title to Ace Hitman. He flew into the middle of the demon army and lightly swung his sword. Secret art, drawn shadow. Countless black sword shadows bloomed like a blooming, eerie flower. Determined instant kill, spirit energy returned. 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 Soul points plus 12. Soul points plus 5. Soul points plus 9. As soon as the secret art was used, his surroundings became empty. Inside the silver mask, Gu Shan closed his eyes. The spirit energy inside his body quickly circulated, accumulating layer by layer according to the secret art of Bai Hua nascent script, then fused into the spirit form inside his dantian. Being nourished by this miraculous secret art, the spirit energy in his dragon form became a bit thicker. Gu Shan's spirit energy was fully replenished. This was the benefit of using soul points to break through. As long as he successfully broke through, his spirit energy would immediately be replenished. Gu Shan's spirit energy wave increased by 30%. Right now, he was a golden core middle stage cultivator. Looking around, he found that he was still at the outer edge of the battlefield, surrounded by golden core and foundation establishment realm demons. The truly powerful demons were all at the center of the battlefield, fighting against human combatants. Only rejuvenation and incarnation realm cultivators qualified to fight. I still don't even qualify to enter the main battlefield. Gu Shan glanced around and muttered. He suddenly shouted, Not enough! Not enough! The golden light shot straight to the sky, all the way to the very top of the sky. Gu Shan reappeared, looked up at the sky, closed his eyes, and began another attack. The earth's sword hovered next to him, silently protecting him. A few moments later, Gu Shan coughed up blood. He bent over and spat out mouthful after mouthful of blood. His entire body felt like it was being cut by knives. His meridians were on the verge of breaking. However, the spiritual power fluctuations on his body continued to rise. Golden Core, late stage. At this time, a notification popped up for War God Skills. Due to the user's consecutive breakthroughs, cultivation scriptures have entered a cooldown period. Continuing to replenish soul points can reduce the cooldown period. It didn't say how long the cooldown period was, but Gu Shan already knew. It's asking Gu Shan to challenge a stronger opponent again. To break through again, he needs to replenish soul points. The Earth Sword spoke in a low, heavy voice. You're too impatient. This isn't good for stabilizing your realm. It's fine. I know what I'm doing, Gu Shan replied. For normal cultivators, impatient isn't a good thing. Continuously breaking through like this will greatly affect the body and mind. Cultivators can't help but spend more time to nurse their body and adapt to their new realm. But Gu Shan had already reached the highest realm below, sainted in the past life. So his memories have already been fully awakened. To him, Golden Core Realm is nothing but a new experience. It won't shake his Tao heart. Chapter 323. Gu Shan tapped his inventory bag and took out the jade bottle that 100 Flowers Fairy gave him, poured out a saint-grade healing pill, and put it in his mouth. This is the best medicine to heal his body right now. As soon as the pill entered his mouth, it turned into a clear stream that flowed into his stomach, then spread throughout his limbs and bones. The pain in his body disappeared, replaced by warmth. His almost broken meridians also slowly recovered. Inside his dantian, The boiling spirit energy was calmed down and returned to normal. His body recovered very quickly. Very quickly. The pain all over his body disappeared, replaced by intense itchiness. Very quickly, the itchiness also disappeared. Right now, Gu Shan is only lightly wounded. For this pill to catch the eye of 100 Flowers Fairy and be given to Gu Shan, it really is extraordinary. Unfortunately, there are only 2 of them. Gu Shan put the airship away, stood in the air, and silently observed the battlefield. He squints his eyes, glancing around, and quickly understood the situation of the battlefield. Humanity's attacks are very powerful, often enough to take away a large number of demons' lives with just a few attacks. But there are too many of them. Gu Shan saw with his own eyes a spell-caster cultivator very far away. But before he could escape, he was swallowed whole by the wave of demons. The demons keep coming. There really is no end to them, enough to make anyone feel despair. Why are there so many demons here? Gu Shan looked far away, only to see that behind the demons, a rain of fire is falling from the sky, mercilessly sweeping across the ground. This is an unstoppable force. To avoid the rain of fire, the demons can only run for their lives in this direction. Because of that, the pressure on humanity's cultivators is even greater. After a long battle, humanity's stamina and spirit energy can't be quickly replenished. Meanwhile, the number of demons continued to increase, increasing by the second. The scales of victory are slowly tipping towards the demon side. If the situation continued to develop like this, the human race would definitely be defeated. Strange, why did the rain of fire happen to appear there? Is this a coincidence, or is there some unknown force behind this? Gu Shan silently thought for a bit, still confused. This is a completely unknown world. I need to explore deeper to find out the truth. But now, he held the Earth Sword in his hand, activating the hand seal. The Earth Sword spoke. You still want to fight? Even with top-notch healing spirit pills, you'll need to rest for a few days before you can recover. I need to fight one more time. When I feel it's time, I'll try to break through to Rejuvenation Realm, Gu Shan said. The Earth Sword paused, then said, breaking through Rejuvenation Realm. According to the law of Rejuvenation Realm, the heavens' tribulation will be even fiercer than before. That kind of tribulation isn't normal. Even Rejuvenation Realm cultivators wouldn't be able to Rejuvenation Realm. Rejuvenation Realm is no small ream Ray Shan. Qing Shan Ream, Chi Beast King Gu Hai. Qing Shan Yan Dragon. In the next moment, the golden light landed on the sea of demons, chopping off countless demons. Blood flowed like a river. Whenever a powerful, gigantic demon attacked, the golden light would rush forward to meet it. A few breaths later, 1 or 2 dragons could be seen rampaging through the horde of demons. After the frenzied slaughter, Gu Shan looked at the war god UI. You've replenished enough soul points. The cooldown period for breaking through using scriptures is over. Very good, he muttered. On the other side, the center of the battlefield, a faceless giant let out its final roar. Its body turned gray, then crumbled and disappeared. This is the way chaos-type monsters die. Ning Yuechan held her blade, wiped the blood from her mouth, and asked, "How many are left?" "The 3rd and 5th squads have all fallen. We only have 4 squads left." Lung Tianxing was covered in blood, breathing heavily as he answered. While they were talking, a few more giant monsters were slowly approaching from afar. Dong! 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 They were moving forward with heavy steps, each step causing the ground to tremble. "Continue to send communication talismans. Call for more reinforcements," Ning Yuechan scowled. At this moment, even she felt a bit tired. But she's the highest commander, so she can't show it on her face, otherwise it'll negatively affect the entire army. Suddenly, the sky became dark. The wind started to pick up, thick clouds hung low in the sky. The world instantly turned into night. Rumble, rumble. Thunder rumbled. The cultivators couldn't help but stop, looking afar in surprise. Even the demon beasts were no longer as ferocious as before. They looked up at the sky in shock. This feeling, could it be heaven's tribulation? Lung Tianxing was surprised. Ning Yuechan loudly shouted. Which madman is it, trying to face his tribulation on the battlefield? Does he want to die faster? On the battlefield, there were cultivators and demons everywhere. As soon as a cultivator enters the range of the tribulation will immediately think that more people are facing their tribulation, causing the power of the tribulation lightning to become even more terrifying. And there are countless demons around. If any cultivator is in trouble, they'll ignore their fear of the tribulation lightning and ambush the person facing their tribulation. In such a complicated and dangerous environment, wanting to face the tribulation successfully is nothing but a fool's dream. Just which idiot is it that's trying to break through here? A bright blue ball of light fell from the sky and hit the ground. Boom! Shockwaves swept through, the wind blew. Everyone turned to look, only to see the tribulation lightning descending on the southwest corner of the battlefield. All the cultivators there were already dead, leaving only the tidal wave of demons. But right at this moment, the demons all let out panic cries and scattered in all directions. Lightning spirit energy is also known as smiting. When a cultivator has this spirit energy, they'll be able to deal a lot more damage to demons. There are two types of lightning. One is life and one is killing, but both are the bane of demons. But right now, the demons are facing the tribulation lightning. This is the most powerful type of lightning. Against such terrifying tribulation lightning, the demons have a natural fear that comes from the bottom of their souls. The tribulation's prologue slowly began. One after another, the tribulation lightning descended, striking the cultivators facing their tribulation. Guqing Shan stood at the center of the tribulation, swinging the earth sword to scatter the first bolt of lightning. The plasma scattered like stars, flying into the horde of demons and killing a large number of them. You're going to die. In the last 100,000 years, I've never seen such a crazy cultivator like you, the earth sword spoke in a low voice. If a person isn't crazy, they can't live. Guqing Shan was covered in demon blood, casually answered. Using his soul points to break through to Golden Core late stage, he charged into the horde of demons to kill them, trying his best to eliminate the cooldown period. Right now, he's trying to break through to Rejuvenation Realm. In just one battle, Guqing Shan decided to directly break through from Golden Core early stage to Rejuvenation Realm. No wonder even the Earth Sword couldn't understand this. The second bolt of lightning descended. Guqing Shan raised his sword again, sending it flying into another horde of demons. Boom! The lightning exploded, turning the horde of demons into nothing. In front of tribulation lightning, all demons below Sainted Realm can only die. This is a natural counter. Guqing Shan coughed up some blood. Chapter 324. Wounds to the soul vessel are no small matter. Under normal circumstances, you'll need to rest for a few months to slowly recover. Guqing Shan scowled, lightly tapping his forehead with his finger. A light came out from his forehead and landed on his fingertip. Dragonfish Pearl. Heal all wounds to your soul vessel in a few breaths' time. Do you want to use the Dragonfish Pearl? Yes. The light went into Guqing Shan's body. A cool sensation gathered from all parts of his body to his thoughts sea, quickly healing the wounds to his soul vessel. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths. The cool sensation disappeared. Guqing Shan's soul vessel had returned to its peak state. Such a treasure. I really want to know what that fish was made from, Guqing Shan muttered. Right now, he was full of energy with only a few minor wounds on his body, and his cultivation had reached Golden Core late stage. The lightning continued to descend, increasing in number. As Guqing Shan walked towards the center of the battlefield, he swung the earth sword to knock away the descending tribulation lightning into the army of demons. You plan to break through like this while using tribulation lightning to kill the enemies? The earth sword asked. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone, why not? Guqing Shan replied. Aren't you afraid that the demons will enter the range of the tribulation and kill you? The earth sword asked again. They're still waiting for their chance, but now, Guqing Shan swung his sword again. However, Every heavenly lightning that struck down was sent flying into the midst of the monster race and demon race army, causing chaos. The destructive aura the lightning gave off was even more frightening to the demons than the rain of fire from afar. The most powerful demons were hesitating. They were looking for an opportunity and hadn't pounced yet. Gu Qingshan was still moving forward. Wherever he went, the demons would scatter and flee, no longer caring about attacking the human cultivators. At this point, the lightning stopped. The howling of the wind and rain continued. The sky darkened. An even more dangerous tribulation lightning was about to descend. Because Gu Qingshan had broken through one after another and was about to attempt to break through to the next realm, heaven and earth would definitely give him an even stronger blow in order to balance the laws of the entire world. Throughout history, many cultivators with astonishing talents had fallen at this stage after making successive breakthroughs, causing countless people to sigh in regret. Countless bolts of tribulation lightning lit up amidst the dark clouds in the sky. The tribulation lightning was high up in the night sky, forming a vast galaxy. This was the heavenly torrent of lightning. The appearance of a rarely seen, magnificent scene meant that the heavenly tribulation had entered its most dangerous stage. The starry river that filled the sky grew brighter and brighter. Suddenly, it poured down soundlessly, like a waterfall, like a heavy rain, pouring down towards Gu Qingshan. Gu Qingshan rested the earth, sword on her shoulder, resting her hand on the canopy as she looked up at the starry sky. He adjusted his breathing slightly, preparing for the upcoming bitter battle. "Take this seriously. Don't die here," said the voice that was as heavy as a mountain. "Is this considered concern?" the young sword cultivator asked. "That's right. I've lived for countless years, but I've never seen a cultivator with guts like you. Don't worry, a tribulation of this level is exactly what I need." "What you need?" "That's right. It can help me break the formation." Gu Qingshan lowered her sword. A second later, he moved, turning into a blur as he flew towards the center of the battlefield. The tribulation lightning was right behind him. On the way, the tribulation lightning was cut down by him, turning into flaming silver snakes that flew around. The demons were all smashed into pieces by the tribulation lightning. All of a sudden, a faceless giant roared, rushing towards Gu Qingshan. This was the strongest demon on the battlefield. As soon as it moved, all the other demons followed suit. That crazy cultivator has already used the tribulation lightning to kill a large number of demons. I can't let him continue. I have to kill him. The demons rushed forward like a tidal wave, only to see Gu Qingshan swinging the earth sword, striking a crimson lightning bolt. The crimson lightning bolt was blown away by the earth sword, piercing through the faceless giant's chest, and flew far away. The faceless giant staggered a few steps, then fell down, crushing countless small demons and turning them into dust. Gu Qingshan faced the terrifying and bright lightning bolts, swinging her sword back and forth. The tribulation lightning poured down to meet the horde of demons. A second later, the demons and the tribulation lightning clashed. Boom, boom, boom. The tribulation lightning exploded one after another. The entire horde of demons screamed and screamed. It was as easy as blowing off dust, and the waves of demons that came in waves were completely wiped out by the tribulation thunder. The remaining demons ran away in panic. Their desire to kill the tribulation realm cultivator has already been extinguished. They only want to live to stay as far away from the tribulation lightning as possible. The tribulation doesn't have any emotions, not affected by anything that happens below. As time passed, more and more tribulation lightning struck down until they couldn't even count them all. Never mind the demons. Even Gu Qingshan himself was in extreme danger. Gu Qingshan scowled, then suddenly thrust his sword forward. Secret art, drawn shadow. Countless black sword shadows were suddenly unleashed. The tribulation lightning was cut away by the layers of sword shadows. The sky was filled with lightning, like 1,000 sparks in the night sky, or like a meteor shower, falling into the horde of demons, killing them all. Wherever Gu Qingshan went, All the demons either died or ran away. Behind him, the demons all scattered. He was heading towards the center of the battlefield. The cultivators were already stunned. Even now, they still don't know who's so crazy. Gu Qingshan was wearing the UG general armor, as well as a silver mask that blocked inner sight, so no one knew who he was. A female cultivator silently asked, "What should we do now?" It was now that Ning Yuechan regained her senses, hurriedly ordered, "We need to retreat. Don't let anyone enter the range of the tribulation, otherwise it'll harm him." The cultivators all sighed in relief and retreated. They're already at their limit. Although the giant demons were strong, they weren't as strong as the beast saint. Facing the might of the tribulation, the giant demons stopped their attack and roared in irritation. Even the strongest faceless giant had fallen to the tribulation lightning. No one dares to go up now. Behind them was the rain of fire, and in front of them was humanity's tribulation, both of them terrifying existences. What now? One of the giant demons thought for a bit, then quickly ran in another direction. As soon as it did, it caused a chain reaction. The other giant demons quickly followed it, heading in that direction. As soon as the strongest demon left, the rest of the demons also followed. They ran, shoved, and stepped on each other, chasing after the giant demons. The demons fled in panic, defeated like a collapsing mountain. Not too long after, Gu Qingshan's surroundings were empty. All the demons had retreated. Only the high-ranking commanders of humanity were scattered far away, protecting him. "Stay focused. He saved everyone's lives. We need to protect him well. Let him peacefully face the tribulation. Don't let anything happen," Ning Yuechan ordered. "Yes," the cultivators all replied. But they were all curious, just who was the one that came up with such a crazy method to repel the enemy. While watching, someone suddenly said, "That's a good idea. We can use this method to repel the enemy later on." The person next to him smiled bitterly. "If it was you, would you dare to do it?" Tribulation itself is the most dangerous thing a cultivator can face. Even if you're fully focused, it's hard to successfully face it. Not to mention facing the tribulation while being careful of the demons and borrowing the power of the tribulation lightning to kill them. A cultivator's life is so precious. Who would dare to try that? If there's even the slightest mistake, they'll die without a doubt. The person thought for a bit, then realized that he was taking it for granted and sighed. The tribulation lightning continued to strike, but its power was getting weaker. About 10 minutes later, there was only the cold rain in the night sky. Not a single sound of thunder could be heard anymore. The tribulation is over. Gu Qingshan waited for a bit, but this time his soul vessel didn't leave his body to go to the space vortex. Most likely, the giant corpse was heavily wounded, so it didn't have the strength to lead him there again. Standing still, Gu Qingshan carefully sensed the changes in his body. Inside his dantian, his spirit energy had undergone a qualitative change. The materialization spirit energy from before changed again, slowly taking the shape of a human. You can faintly see that it's Gu Qingshan's appearance. Humans are treasures of heaven and earth. When spirit energy manifests in a human form, it resonates with heaven and earth. The three laws of heaven, earth, and human are all there. A rejuvenation realm cultivator can use their rejuvenation spirit body to comprehend the laws of heaven and earth, further understanding the essence of the world, or as they call it, Tao. From now on, a cultivator's lifespan will increase by 1,000 years. They can directly become an elder of any sect. Flying will also become a natural thing for them. Traveling the North Sea in the morning and the East Continent in the evening will be a piece of cake. Chapter 325. Ning Yuechan was the first to arrive, landing in front of Gu Qingshan and clasped her fist. "This humble one is Ding Yuan, General Ning Yuechan. Thank you, fellow Tao Seeker, for your help. I will record down your military merit. How should I address you?" "Fellow Tao Seeker." Gu Qingshan took off her mask. "You still can't recognize me?" Ning Yuechan looked at her familiar face and couldn't help but be stunned. She was a bit hesitant to recognize him. asking, "Are you all right?" Lung Tianxing ran up to take a good look at her, then muttered dejectedly, "You were fine yesterday morning. How did you suddenly become a rejuvenation realm cultivator?" They couldn't be blamed for having such a reaction. Gu Qingshan's cultivation speed was too fast for them to accept. If it wasn't for the fact that she's extremely talented, then she might have been charmed by the Tianma and become demonized. When that happens, a cultivator's cultivation will increase very quickly, but they will also die very quickly. The Tianma will look for the right opportunity to harvest the demonized cultivator's soul as food. Gu Qingshan answered, "Shenwu world is too dangerous. Shifu gave me some good fortune to help me reach this realm." The surrounding cultivators all came to a realization and couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief. So it was by Hua Saint's help. No wonder his cultivation increased so quickly. That's good. That's good. He wasn't demonized, nor was he the second Ning Yuechan. To be able to increase his cultivation at such a terrifying speed without any external help, among the younger generation, only Ning Yuechan is capable of that. Thinking that, everyone's cautiousness and caution disappeared. The cultivators all enthusiastically came forward and clasped their fists. "Greetings, General Gu. Thank you for your help this time, General." No matter what, General Gu being able to use a tribulation to break the formation and change the course of the war is an unprecedented feat. Only those who are brave and courageous can do it. It's all thanks to you this time, but aren't you being too crazy? Is your own life not worth anything? Ning Yuechan asked with a concerned expression. Gu Qingshan smiled and replied, "I'm fine, aren't I?" Ning Yuechan asked, "Can I take a look?" "Of course." Ning Yuechan grabbed his hand and transferred a stream of spiritual power to him. She circulated her spiritual power through his limbs and bones and slowly withdrew it. "I'm really fine." Ning Yuechan heaved a sigh of relief. She turned around and saw that everyone was staring at her. Only then did she realize that she seemed to be a little too concerned. Ning Yuechan put on a solemn expression and ordered, "Since General Gu is fine, everyone is to return to camp." "Yes." The cultivators all replied. Military camp. Ning Yuechan's tent. Ning Yuechan, Gu Qingshan, and Lung Tianxing gathered to talk. "How is General Gong's son?" Gu Qingshan asked. "He's still unconscious," Ning Yuechan said. "Aside from him, are there any others who are unconscious?" Gu Qingshan asked. Ning Yushi answered, "Yes, a few of the scouts also found a long blade embedded in the wall. As soon as they took it out, they also fell unconscious," Lung Tianxing explained. "I specifically found a divine doctor check on them. He said that their soul vessel was attacked. They'll only wake up after 3 to 5 days. There's also the Vanguard Battalion's UG General Hao. He saw a spear on the ground and couldn't help but pick it up to take a look, but after trying a few times, he suddenly fell unconscious." Gu Qingshan went silent for a bit, then suddenly thought of a possibility. He asked, "I remember, when you first discovered Shenwu World, you also found the corpses of several high-ranking martial cultivators." "That's right," Ning Yuechan answered. "They were all Sainted Realm cultivators." "How unbelievable." Gu Qingshan stood up and said, "If that's the case, I have an idea. Let's go take a look at the ruin again." He looked at the two people in front of him, then smiled apologetically. "It's fine. Give me the map. I'll go by myself." Ning Yuechan and Lung Tianxing have gone through several days of fighting, so they were both tired. They needed to rest. "It's too dangerous for you to go by yourself. Let me rest for a night, and we'll go together tomorrow," Ning Yuechan said. "It's fine, I'll go take a look." "Don't worry," Gu Qingshan said. "That's the largest ruin. None of the other ruins we've excavated can compare to it. There's definitely danger there. I suggest you come with me," Ning Yuechan said with a worried expression. "I'll go as well. There's no telling what kind of strange things might happen in such a place. We need someone to look after us," Lung Tianxing also said. "No need. I'll be back soon." Saying so, Gu Qingshan stood up and left. Seeing him walk all the way to the entrance of the tent, about to leave, Ning Yuechan couldn't help but stand up. She immediately noticed her lack of composure and raised her voice. "Someone dares to disobey their superior's orders. General Lung, what does the military law say?" Lung Tianxing answered, When not in combat, disobeying orders will be punished with whipping, 10 to 30 lashes, depending on the severity of the violation. Gu Qingshan stopped. Ning Yuechan regained her composure, clasped her hands behind her back, and asked, General Gu, what do you think? Gu Qingshan helplessly said, Is there any meaning to this? I just want to find out the truth. Why are you stopping me? I don't care what you do. I'm only in charge of giving orders, Ning Yuechan said. I'm just going to... Gu Qingshan tried to explain. I've never had anyone receive whipping before. I'm a bit tempted to do it myself, Ning Yuechan casually said. Gu Qingshan shook her head and sighed. That'll hurt my feelings. And do you really think a sword cultivator like me would be afraid of being whipped? He turned around and obediently sat down on the chair. Ning Yuechan didn't want to pay attention to him anymore, lightly scoffed, and also sat down. Seeing Gu Qingshan's annoyed expression, she consoled him. All right, let's go together tomorrow. Saying so, she didn't bother with Gu Qingshan's reaction, closed her eyes, and began to meditate. That's right, let's go together tomorrow, Lung Tianxing smiled. He's also very tired, so thinking about tomorrow's operation, he took out a pill and went into meditation. Only Gu Qingshan was sitting there, bored. He sighed, then opened the War God UI to check the notification from the previous battle. User has successfully broken through to Rejuvenation Realm. Maximum soul points increased to 200. Current soul points will greatly increase user's cultivation. According to user's memory, sword styles that won't cause user's body/soul vessel to collapse are as follows. Secret Art. Swallow returns. As user has a deep understanding of all sword styles, soul points cost to awaken previous sword styles has been minimized. Awakening Secret Art. Swallow returns requires 200 soul points. This is a high-ranking sword cultivator's assassination secret art, so the soul points cost is very high. Would you like to awaken this secret art? Awaken. Soul points used. 200. Secret art. Swallow returns has been awakened. User's remaining soul points is as follows. Gu Qingshan has learned 5 secret arts, respectively. Water Flow Severance, Crescent Slash, 7 Stars Flowing Dragon, Drawn Shadow, Swallow returns. Ting. After the notification for the secret art disappeared, a new one appeared. You've broken through to Rejuvenation Realm, as your cultivation speed has surpassed normal cultivators, proving that you truly have the talents of a war god. The system will reward you. Reward. You've obtained the right to choose a thaumaturgy for 2 realms. Description. Due to your unstoppable cultivation speed at this moment, the Golden Core Thaumaturgy quest has not been completed, but the Rejuvenation Thaumaturgy quest has been completed, so the following rewards will be given. You may choose as follows. Choice 1. The Golden Core Thaumaturgy quest is immediately completed. You will receive the maximum number of draws, as well as the Rejuvenation Thaumaturgy quest. Chapter 326. Gu Qingshan silently read through it, then asked, If I combine the 2 quests, will I be able to draw 2 thaumaturgies at the same time? No, you can only draw 1 thaumaturgy, the system answered. Then who would choose the second option? 2 realms combined, but only 1 thaumaturgy is rewarded, Gu Qingshan sighed. The system answered, but if that's the case, your chances of drawing a combat-type thaumaturgy will greatly increase. You will have a certain chance of drawing a divine skill, Gu Qingshan gasped. Divine skill? I could draw a divine skill? If that's true, I don't even need to consider the first option. I have to take this once-in-a-lifetime chance to get a divine skill. With a divine skill in hand, I'll have a higher chance of surviving any dangerous situation. I want to ask, what are the chances of drawing a combat-type thaumaturgy and a divine skill? The system answered, the chances of drawing a combat-type thaumaturgy is 50%. The chances of drawing a divine skill is 30%, 30%. I'll take the risk. I have to take the risk. Without hesitation, Gu Qingshan chose the second option. A 30% chance is already very high. Even if there's only a 10% chance, Gu Qingshan is willing to take the risk. Ting. The user has chosen the second option. The Golden Core / Rejuvenation Thaumaturgy quests have been combined. The user has a certain chance of drawing a combat-type thaumaturgy. The user has a chance of drawing a divine skill. The total number of Dual Realms thaumaturgy quests is set to 7. The quest difficulty has been greatly increased. You've completed 2 quests. Remaining quests, 5. The quest will now continue. Please continue to improve your personal strength to meet the 3rd quest. Requirement. The War God UI's notification ended here. Looking at the notification on the War God UI, Gu Qingshan couldn't help but clench her fist tightly. 7 quests. Since the number of quests has been determined and not fixed at 7 days, I need to finish them as soon as possible. The sooner I draw a thaumaturgy, the sooner I can become stronger. An uneventful night. On the 2nd day, Ning Yuechan picked a few dozen rejuvenation and ascended realm cultivators to go with Gu Qingshan and Lung Tianxing to the ruin. It was an uninhabited desert. Dozens of flying boats landed one after another. The cultivators quickly found the place and surrounded it. Ning Yuechan carefully took out a sealed jade box and opened it. Inside, there was a tattered array disc. "It's this array disc," Ning Yuechan said. General Gongsun picked it up from the ground. As soon as he tried it, a ruin appeared underground, and he fainted. "Where are the ruins?" Gu Qingshan asked. After he fainted, the ruins closed again, Ning Yuechan said. "Looks like this is a mechanism-type formation plate. Come, let me have a look," Gu Qingshan said. Ning Yuechan gave him the jade box and reminded him. "Be careful." Gu Qingshan received the jade box, opened the lock seals on it, and silently stared at the formation plate. He suddenly had a strange expression on his face. "We haven't even gotten to know each other, but he already tried to touch me. So he's being punished," he muttered. The cultivators didn't understand, so they exchanged glances. General Gongsun just fainted. Could it be another one went crazy? Seeing everyone's strange expression, Gu Qingshan decided to just send his voice to communicate with the formation plate. A few moments later, Gu Qingshan took out a few spirit stones, put them on the formation plate, and infused it with spirit energy. The earth rumbled and split open, revealing a flight of stairs that spiraled downwards. "Let's go down and take a look." Gu Qingshan put the formation plate away and said. Everyone looked at him. He really is still conscious, without any signs of fainting. "How did you do that?" Ning Yuechan couldn't help but ask. "The formation plate has a spirit, saying so." Gu Qingshan tossed the formation plate into the air. "Come, let's meet everyone." Following his words, the formation plate hovered in the air by itself, and even spiritually shook off the dust on it. "A spirit!" someone exclaimed in shock. The cultivators all went into an uproar. In the cultivation world, weapons with sentience are extremely rare. It's not easy for a weapon or treasure tool to gain sentience. It requires a very long period of training to even have a chance. But now, a formation plate that he randomly picked up from the ground actually has a spirit. Wait a minute. Could it be that the reason why the cultivators fainted before was because they tried to refine their weapons without the spirit's permission, angering the spirit and attacking their soul vessel, causing them to faint? Since the cultivators didn't think that a weapon they randomly picked up would have a spirit, they were caught off guard and fell for it. Everyone's eyes turned red as they looked at the array disc floating in midair. A weapon with a spirit is unimaginably powerful. Who would have thought that Shenwu World smithing had already reached such a level? "How did you know?" Ning Yuechan asked. "I also ran into a sword, but I didn't try to refine it," Gu Qingshan answered. And then we got along quite well. If that's the case, wouldn't there be weapons with sentience everywhere in Shenwu World? Lung Tianxing asked. "That's probably the truth," Gu Qingshan answered. The formation plate circled around Gu Qingshan a few times, then suddenly shot straight into the underground ruins and disappeared. "Let's quickly follow," Ning Yuechan said. Everyone nodded and couldn't wait to jump into the ruins. The dark and damp stairs went all the way down without an end in sight. The formation plate flew forward. Whenever it reached a dead end, the formation plate would lightly shake and a new path would appear. The group of cultivators followed the formation plate and flew for 2 hours before landing in a temple. The temple was large and spacious, making them feel extremely small inside. This place was worshipping the Buddhas. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas were all very lifelike, showing benevolent smiles as they looked down on all living beings. But the entire temple was covered in a thick layer of dust. Obviously, no one has been here for a very long time. Everyone stood at the entrance of the temple, scanning the area with their inner sight. In the empty Buddha hall, there was almost nothing. The only thing on the table in front of the Buddhas was an alms bowl. The alms bowl was completely black. Its surface was full of scratches and scratches, clearly an ancient artifact. But the only thing they found here was an unassuming alms bowl. Everyone was a bit disappointed. The formation plate that led them here flew in front of the alms bowl, stood up straight, and lightly leaned forward. Its movements looked like it was bowing respectfully. After bowing, the formation plate flew behind the alms bowl and hovered there. "What do we do now?" Ning Yuechan asked in a low voice. "I think we should follow its lead," Gu Qingshan answered. He faced the alms bowl, bowed respectfully, and walked into the temple hall. The alms bowl suddenly let out a golden light that fell on Gu Qingshan's body, sucking him inside. A spatial extraction technique. This is an extraordinarily powerful spatial artifact. A smithing cultivator excitedly exclaimed. "Where did Gu Qingshan go?" Ning Yuechan asked in a low voice. "There should be a small space inside the alms bowl. He should be inside right now," the cultivator answered. "Will there be danger?" "There won't be. Buddhists usually don't kill, and this kind of artifact is most likely used to send messages. This is Shun Wu world. Their smithing skills are much higher than ours." Seeing that the other party was speechless, Ning Yuechan didn't say anything else, bowed, and entered the temple. The alms bowl let out another golden light, circled around the temple, and sucked her inside. Chapter 3:27. After the three of them entered the bowl, the rest of the cultivators also did the same. The bowl once again let out a golden light, circled around the temple, and took in all the cultivators inside. There was only one cultivator left outside the temple. He purposely waited until everyone had entered the bowl and didn't move. Right now, his face was full of joy as he flew towards the formation plate. On the way here, he's already been eyeing the formation plate. Now that he knows the formation plate has a spirit, as well as making preparations, he won't have to worry about the formation plate hurting his soul vessel. As an ascended realm formation user, he knows very well how powerful a formation plate with a spirit is. With this formation plate, even Gongsun Ji wouldn't be his opponent. Now that everyone has entered the bowl, it's the best time to take the formation plate. When everyone comes out again and can't find the formation plate, he only needs to pretend that he doesn't know anything. "Ah, you're mine, you're mine," he excitedly muttered to himself. The cultivator flew to the side of the formation plate, reached his hand out and grabbed the formation plate. A second later, the formation plate was already in his chest pocket. Suddenly, the bowl shot out a black light that swept through his body. The cultivator instantly turned into a skinless skeleton, scattering on the ground. The soul formation stage great cultivator died in an instant. The formation plate landed on top of the skeleton's skull, lightly nodded at it, as if mocking him. After hovering around for a bit, the formation plate seemed to have sensed something and slowly flew up, falling into the bowl. Inside the bowl, Gu Qingshan landed, followed by Ning Yuechan. Lung Tianxing and the other cultivators also landed. In the darkness, a sorrowful and heavy voice came. "Amit Ba, the demon army is at its peak. We are powerless to defend the world. Without any other choice, the great cultivators decided to work together to perform an unprecedented great law of heaven and earth. So I will record this entire process. To preserve history for future generations." The voice slowly disappeared, revealing the scenery around them. "This is recording?" Lung Tianxing hesitantly asked. Everyone looked around, only to find themselves standing on top of a tall altar. Below the altar was a sea of people. Countless cultivators were standing there. Many of the cultivators were injured. Some of them were sitting on the ground, while others could only lie down motionlessly. Their armors were all damaged to varying degrees. What was surprising was that there were countless weapons floating in the sky. These weapons were either standing still or playing around. Only when the cultivator summoned them would the weapons quickly fly down and land beside the cultivator. The cultivators who entered the alms bowl were all at the nascent soul and incarnation realms. Seeing this scene, how could they not know that they had been pulled into an image of the past? All of these weapons have artifact spirits. Ning Yuechan observed for a while and said. Gu Qingshan said, "Look at their armors." Everyone turned to look at the armors worn by those cultivators. All kinds of mysterious patterns would appear on the armors, and there were even images of mythical beasts. Ning Yuechan sighed. Their artifact forging skills far surpass our world's. I'm afraid it's not just smithing. Look next to us, Lung Tianxing said. Gu Qingshan turned around and looked at the great cultivators standing on the altar. There were a total of 12 of them. Their presence was as deep as the ocean. Even though they had retracted their spirit pressure, they still exuded a terrifying pressure. That's right, this feeling is the same as facing the three saints, one of the cultivators exclaimed in a low voice. My God, they have 12 cultivators like that. Could it be 12 sainted realm cultivators? Another person exclaimed in shock. Gu Qingshan silently sensed it and found that it was indeed the case. This image was also very well done, allowing them to feel the presence of the real thing. In Shunwu world, there were 12 sainted realm cultivators at one time. What a powerful force that was. A thought suddenly flashed through everyone's mind. Even with that level of power, they couldn't fight against the demons. According to his experience, there were tens of thousands of different types of demons, and even the three sages could only barely defend themselves against high-grade demons. Fortunately, those demons quickly disappeared from the cultivation world. No one knows where they came from or where they went. While everyone was still lost in thought, the 12 sainted realm cultivators exchanged glances. Then one of them stepped forward and walked in front of the altar. He loudly declared, "The time has come. We respectfully welcome the four venerables." Before he finished, the 12 sainted realm cultivators, as well as all the cultivators below the altar, knelt down on one knee and clasped their fists to greet them. At this time, a blue mist appeared in the eastern sky, turning into a 5-clawed azure dragon, carrying an old man with flowing white hair, riding on a cloud. From the southern sky, a flash of flame shot up to the sky. A muscular man stood on top of a blade engulfed in flames, flying towards the altar. From the western sky, a huge wave came crashing down. A man and a woman stood on top of the wave, talking and laughing as they slowly approached. As soon as the four of them appeared, everyone became even more respectful. The four of them landed on the altar, dispelled all the supernatural phenomena, and waved their hands. At ease, hearing this order, the cultivators dared to get up. Gu Qingshan suddenly said, "They aren't sainted realm." His eyes were glued to the four of them, feeling the terrifying power they exuded. A bit like that Tiamat Saint King from before, Ning Yuechan also frowned. That's right, they are all cultivators above sainted realm. Gu Qingshan confirmed her guess. There are even stronger cultivators above sainted realm, and 4 of them at that level. One of the cultivators muttered in a daze. The cultivators looked at each other, all of them feeling incredulous. Lung Tianxing suddenly thought of something. His expression changed. They're already so strong. How did they lose to the demons? As soon as he asked that, the only response he got was silence and dejection. No one was able to answer him. The 4 venerables and the 12 sainted realm cultivators discussed for a long time on the altar, occasionally breaking into heated arguments, as if they couldn't decide on something. The image suddenly disappeared, then reappeared after a while. At this time, the image had already skipped a long time. Everyone else had already left the altar, leaving only the 4 venerables standing at a corner of the altar, forming hand seals. They seemed to know some sort of special secret technique. While the 4 of them were casting, the sky above the altar began to crack, revealing the chaotic space-time vortex. The space-time vortex didn't last for too long before it disappeared. Heaven and earth returned to normal. A strange ornament appeared in the sky. The ornament flashed and crumbled into dust. The next second, 3 figures appeared in the sky. Gu Shan and the others looked up expectantly, but all the images suddenly disappeared. Their vision blurred, and they were transported out of the bowl. The cultivators all appeared in the temple one after another. We're out. Why did it suddenly stop? The cultivators only panicked for a split second before regaining their composure. Everyone looked in the same direction. At the entrance of the temple, a row of strange and mysterious cultivators stood there. They all wore large bamboo hats and black robes. Their hands were hidden in their sleeves. This kind of attire made it impossible to see their faces, let alone the minute movements of their hands. There was still some residual spirit energy in the air. On the bowl, there were a few deep scratches that gave off a slight burning sensation. From the looks of it, it was these strange cultivators who attacked the bowl that caused Gu Shan's group to be transported out. These strange cultivators all gave off the same rejuvenation and ascended realm spirit energy waves. The unfamiliar cultivators were also startled. They raised their heads one after another, slightly revealing their astonished expressions under their bamboo hats. Both sides were observing each other. For a single breath, no one said anything. Time seemed to have come to a standstill at this moment. The cultivators of the cultivation world found that they've never seen these people before. Ning Yuechan, Lung Tianxing, and the other great cultivators were all generals who had led armies for many years, so they've memorized the state of the entire army, as well as the appearance and traits of most cultivators in their inner sight, never forgetting them. That's why they could tell that these people were strangers that they've never seen before. Not only that, but their attire, weapons, and armors were also something they've never seen before. Could they be cultivators from Shunwu World? But all the cultivators of Shunwu World are dead. There are no survivors. Regarding this point, the third saint had already examined it and made a conclusion. So these people in the bamboo hats didn't belong to the cultivation world, nor did they belong to Shunwu World. With that in mind, all the cultivators, including Gu Shan, realized something that no one had ever thought of before. Without any warning, history began to change at this very moment. At this moment, the civilizations of 2 different worlds unexpectedly met in the destroyed third world. Time will always move forward, never stopping at this single breath. Finally, someone broke the silence. Someone's here? The strange cultivator who led the group smiled and said. Chapter 328. From the looks of it, this unfamiliar cultivator is a sword cultivator. When the cultivators behind him saw him pressing his hand on his sword, they immediately understood what he meant. The unfamiliar cultivator still smiled warmly and spoke. Something happened. A blinding golden light suddenly appeared in the middle of their group. In a split second, a vast amount of sword chi exploded. Countless black sword images bloomed like a lotus, weaving through the group of people. Each of the black sword shadows carry the Earth Sword's 86,370,000 tons of force. Combined with Gu Shan's ground shrink divine skill, the unfamiliar cultivators couldn't even react in time. No matter how strong they were, being attacked by a sword cultivator within 5 steps of them, not to mention the full power of the Earth Sword, there was no way for them to survive. In less than a breath's worth of time, Gu Shan had killed 7 people with a single strike. Damn it! Attack! The unfamiliar cultivator, who was the leader of the group, shouted. Kill them! Ning Yuechan only froze for a split second before she drew her blade and shouted. The cultivators on both sides were experienced fighters, so as soon as they gave the order, they attacked the other side without hesitation. The unfamiliar cultivator drew his sword and faced Gu Shan. His sword was very fast, and his attacks were also very strange. A sword coiled around, avoided Gu Shan's attack, and went through a gap in Gu Shan's attack. The hand seal was activated. Thousands of sword phantoms turned into a raging flood, striking Gu Shan. Clang, 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 clang. In a split second, Gu Shan was hit by countless sword phantoms. His golden armor was being struck by the flood of sword phantoms. Gu Qingshan only had time to pull his sword back to protect his vitals before he was sent flying a few dozen feet. The golden light was sent flying. He crashed into the wall behind the temple, coughed up blood, and fell down. The power of that sword was truly ferocious. If Gu Qingshan wasn't wearing his general armor, he would have already died. Looking down, he saw that the light golden armor had become full of holes. Gu Qingshan fell to the ground in a sorry state. She used her sword to support her body. Such a secret art, how powerful. He breathed heavily. On the other side, the unfamiliar swordsman stood motionless. His long sword maintained its forward posture and did not give chase. "This move of yours, is it swallow return?" the unfamiliar sword cultivator asked. "Yes," Gu Qingshan replied. The unfamiliar sword cultivator sighed and spoke dejectedly. "So this is the return of the swallow. I've searched many worlds but couldn't find it. Only to meet it like this today, bang." A thick mist of blood gushed out from his back. The unfamiliar sword cultivator fell to the ground, no longer breathing. "He's dead." Secret art, swallow returns. When a sword cultivator attacks, there will be a similar attack from behind. 2 notifications popped up on the War God UI. Kill the sword cultivator of the late nascent soul stage. Determined instant kill, spiritual energy returned. Soul points plus 100. Gu Qingshan stood up, didn't even bother to take a healing pill, and rushed towards the crowd again. In such a narrow space, a sword cultivator's damage is the most terrifying. And after the unfamiliar sword cultivator died, the only sword cultivator left was Gu Qingshan. He had to quickly join the fray. Gu Qingshan's body moved and landed next to an unfamiliar spell cultivator who was forming a hand seal. A sword phantom flashed. Gu Qingshan disappeared. The unfamiliar spell cultivator screamed in pain. His hand that was forming a hand seal was cut off and fell to the ground. A 5-elemental spell was cast in time to take the unfamiliar spell cultivator's life. At this point, Gu Qingshan had already made it to the other side of the battlefield. He turned into a white crescent sword phantom and cut an unfamiliar spell cultivator in half at the waist. As an Ascended Realm Blade user, Ning Yuechan was also suited to fighting in this kind of environment. She wore the blood-red Ding Yuan general armor, rampaging through the crowd. Every time her blade fell, the enemy would die. The battle quickly ended with one side being completely wiped out. This was a battle that started because of Gu Qingshan's sudden attack. He took the initiative to attack first, so no one on Ning Yuechan's side died. Only a few were injured. The battle started, then ended just as quickly. Everyone was breathing heavily, still in a state of shock. "Why did you suddenly attack?" "I think everyone needs an explanation." Ning Yuechan looked at Gu Qingshan and said. The cultivators all looked over. "In the military, if you act without orders, you'll be beheaded in the most serious cases." "Do you know them?" Gu Qingshan calmly asked. "I don't," Ning Yuechan answered. "Have you ever seen them dressed up like that?" "I haven't," Gu Qingshan continued. "Perhaps we can collect the spoils of war first. That way we'll be more convincing." Ning Yuechan looked at him, then finally nodded. "All right." The cultivators began to collect the weapons and items from the corpses on the ground. Finally, they found a small flag on the unknown sword cultivator's body. The flag had a large order character written on it. Someone tried to use spirit energy to activate the flag. Immediately, a dignified voice came from the flag. "Order. Direct disciple Zhang Hongqi will lead the 5th squad of cultivators to search for treasures in the Tool spirit world. Aside from the mission, there is no need to investigate the origins of living beings from other worlds. This matter has already been decided by the sect. Do not interfere, but if you run into living beings from other worlds, you may kill or capture them. If they are beautiful women, they may serve as maids for the disciples. If they are strong enough, they may also be kept alive and brought back to be slaves in the mines. Other than that, you may kill them." The great cultivators all opened their eyes wide. They are cultivators from another world. An Ascended Realm cultivator muttered in a daze. Ascended Realm, only a direct disciple, another cultivator muttered. In the cultivation world, an ascended realm cultivator is enough to become a sect master or establish their own sect. But on the other side, this is only a disciple, or the realms of their elders and sect masters. Everyone couldn't help but think about it, feeling a chill in their hearts. This time, he was completely caught off guard. Who would have thought that they would run into people from another world in this ruin? The order from the flag revealed a terrifying piece of information. They will definitely act against us. Most likely, they only ambushed us after making us lower our guard. And there's something even more terrifying. They already have a plan for the cultivation world. Everyone calmed themselves down and nodded to greet Gu Qing-shan. Ning Yuechan also sighed in relief. Since the other side had hidden ill intentions, then Gu Qing-shan's killing spree from before can no longer be considered as acting on her own. This could be considered as anticipating the enemy's actions, successfully preventing the entire squad from losing members. Ning Yuechan scowled and asked, Qing-shan, did you know about this beforehand? No, I didn't, hearing what the flag said. Gu Qing-shan smiled, but there was an indescribable bitterness in it. Then why did you attack as soon as you saw them? Lung Tianxing asked. Ever since I came to Shenwu World, I've been following a lot of clues and deductions. What I saw today made me even more certain that my deductions were correct. Gu Qing-shan's eyes were full of memories and confusion. His eyes seemed to be able to see through the void of space, looking outside of Shenwu World. Various eerie events in the past life. This time, the bronze pillar and the giant corpse that he met by chance. The three figures that appeared out of thin air in the video. There wasn't a single living person in Shenwu World, only countless weapon spirits. Most importantly, the omen of death for the 100 Flowers Fairy. Thinking that, the confusion in Gu Qing-shan's eyes disappeared. He once again became decisive and full of killing intent. Tell us what you think. Lung Tianxing patted his shoulder and said. Gu Qing-shan nodded. This has to be explained clearly, to prevent anyone from taking any chances. He organized his words, then said, between us and them, only one side can survive. Everyone went silent. Thinking about what happened just now, quite a few of them felt uneasy. Why do you think that? Ning Yuechan asked with a pale face. Gu Qing-shan thought for a bit, then explained his point of view in a way that cultivators can understand. He didn't think that what he said today would be passed down to the next generation, becoming one of the most famous theories in history. Let's take a world as an example, Gu Qing-shan said. There are only so many resources in a world. Whoever occupies more resources will have the qualifications to become stronger. Then one day, if two worlds meet, what would happen? Even those loose cultivators are constantly fighting for resources and treasures, let alone two unfamiliar civilizations. They both want to take the other's resources and treasures very much. Because of this, when two civilizations meet, they definitely won't think that the other side has good intentions. When two civilizations meet, the most likely outcome would be a battle to the death. Gu Qing-shan finally expressed his opinion. Furthermore, if there are infinite worlds and countless civilizations, then any civilization that reveals its existence will be destroyed very quickly. All the civilizations hiding in the dark will loot and slaughter the civilizations that are exposed. This is to steal the resources they need, and to prevent that exposed civilization from continuing to develop and become a threat to themselves in the future. Chapter 3:29. At this point, Gu Qing-shan went silent. What he said just now was only a perfunctory explanation for the cultivators here, to explain why he killed them just now. He knows that there are some things he can't say, otherwise he'll attract endless questions. The giant corpse that had existed for over 100,000 years gave him a warning, telling him a certain secret. When a world fuses with another world, the living beings of that world will become stronger. Worlds are the resources for living beings to become stronger. The world itself is the reason for all civilizations to fight over it. This is the truth. Endless, terrifying demons are searching for a weakness between worlds, wanting to destroy all living beings. In this type of apocalypse, Every civilization wants to become stronger to fight against death and destruction. Because of that, when two worlds meet, one of them will have to be fused. This is the truth. Gu Qingshan suddenly thought of something. This kind of relationship between civilizations is mostly due to the fear of the apocalypse. Every civilization wants to become stronger to avoid being quickly destroyed by the apocalypse. Then, the culprit behind all of this, the demons that forced all civilizations to fight for their lives. What exactly are they? Powerful demons have unimaginable abilities. Their actions are completely unreasonable. It's impossible to use the common sense of living beings to understand their thoughts. It's impossible to understand them. At this point in history, those truly terrifying things haven't appeared yet. But where did they come from? Who created them? Are they really demons? This is the first time Gu Qingshan has ever thought about such a question. He was lost in thought, but the more he thought about it, the more he felt that the secret was as deep as the ocean, making it impossible to know the truth. Looking at the great cultivators of the cultivation world, they still haven't regained their senses from his explanation. Ning Yuechan sighed and spoke first. Since fighting is unavoidable, let us take a look at their things and gather some information. That's right, everyone here is a rejuvenation and ascended realm great cultivator. They've seen a lot. Everyone should gather their thoughts. Perhaps they'll be able to find something. The cultivators quickly arranged the scattered weapons, formation plates, pills, talismans, and other items on the ground. Everyone soon discovered that the bamboo hats worn by the otherworldly cultivators had the effect of isolating all auras. A great cultivator proficient in smithing commented, "Everyone has such equipment. Such a widespread level of usage means that they are living in an environment that requires constant vigilance." Gu Qingshan picked up the cultivator's sword and examined it carefully. The sword looked very new, as if it had been forged not long ago. That sword cultivator probably only obtained it before they set off. On the War God UI, the War God skills option suddenly flashed. A few lines of notification popped up from the War God skills option. Sword discovered. Guangyang Sect's True Disciple Sword. Use the following skills: Guangyang Basic Sword Style 7th Form. User: Zhang Hongqi. Secret Art Torrent. User: Zhang Hongqi. As these two sword techniques come from an unknown world that players have never come into contact with before, the amount of soul power required to comprehend these sword techniques has increased exponentially. To comprehend Guangyang Foundation Sword Style 7th Style, soul points cost 17. To comprehend Secret Art Torrent cost 190 soul points. Gu Qingshan's eyes glowed. This was the secret art he used just now. It was quite powerful. If he didn't have the Swallow Returns specialized for killing, it would have taken him quite a bit of effort to win. I should be able to learn this secret art. As for spending more soul points, it's nothing. He immediately said, I choose to comprehend secret art. Torrent, spent 190 soul points. User has comprehended secret art. Torrent, another notification popped up. You've learned a foreign world sword technique. Congratulations, your personal strength barely meets the requirements. You can now proceed to Thaumaturgy Quest 3. Reading through the notification, Gu Qingshan was overjoyed. I can finally continue with the Thaumaturgy quest. Completing 7 quests, I can draw a double realm thaumaturgy. He glanced around. The cultivators were quickly and orderly checking their spoils of war. The current situation wasn't suitable for him to leave the group and leave on his own. Gu Qingshan temporarily held back her impatience and joined in on studying the foreign world's cultivation civilization. Every single one of the foreign world cultivators was wearing a jade pendant. There were large and small pendants. All of them were of different colors, all of them giving off a faint glow. After studying them for a bit, everyone concluded that they were spatial artifacts, similar to inventory bags. One of the cultivators who was proficient in this field tried it out, then shook his head. Unwilling to give up, he picked up another jade pendant to study. After a while, this cultivator had no choice but to give up. He explained to everyone, this jade pendant's crafting and construction method is quite profound. Only the owner knows how to open it. Once the owner dies, no one will be able to open it. Hearing that, everyone shook their heads and sighed. At this point, the cultivators also took off the armors of the foreign world cultivators and put them aside. A cultivator who was proficient in smithing came forward, checked the armors and weapons one by one, then commented, "The weapons are sharp, the armors are sturdy, their things are a bit lacking compared to Shenwu World's, but they're definitely better than ours. Shenwu World's smithing was truly profound. This had become a widely accepted fact." A cultivator who was proficient in alchemy took out a pill, first smelled it, then broke it in half and put it in his mouth to chew. Closing his eyes for a bit, he spoke, "Their level of alchemy is much higher than ours. This pill's potency has already surpassed our peak level. Their talismans are even better than ours." Another person took out a few talismans and said. At this point, everyone looked at Gu Qingshan at the same time. How fortunate! How fortunate! Just now, he was the one who managed to kill a few of them with a single slash. Otherwise, both sides would have fallen into a long and bitter battle. The outcome would have been hard to say. What about formations? Comparing our formations to theirs, which one is stronger? Gu Qingshan suddenly asked. In a small-scale battle, weapons, pills, and talismans are a cultivator's greatest help. But in a large-scale battle, formations are the most important factor. Then, someone reported, "We just found out the formation master Wang Yin is dead. That's his body." Someone pointed at the skeleton in the corner. "Strange, I didn't see him just now. How'd he die?" Lung Tianxing asked. An image came out from the bowl, hovering in the air. This was what happened to Wang Yin just now. Seeing that, all the cultivators could only sigh at the bowl. A treasure that can easily kill even ascended realm cultivators. No one would be able to deal with such a powerful artifact. Not to mention, the artifact has a spirit. Such a terrifying artifact that also has a spirit. No one dared to touch it just yet. What they need to do now is to quickly determine the strength of the otherworld cultivators, especially their understanding of formations. Ning Yuechan asked. General Gongsun is still unconscious. Who else is the most authoritative cultivator on the path of formations? None of the cultivators said anything. The path of formations is too difficult. Normal people wouldn't be able to handle it. Then we'll talk about formations when we get back, Ning Yuechan helplessly said. Actually, there's no need. Gu Qingshan picked up a small formation plate and pointed it at an empty spot in the temple. Let's see how it works. He took out a few spirit stones, put them into the formation plate, then infused it with spirit energy. 4 images appeared from the formation plate. Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Black Tortoise. Gu Qingshan tried tapping the Vermilion Bird image. A flame came from the formation plate, turning the entire temple into a sea of fire. Gu Qingshan quickly retracted her spirit energy. The flame disappeared. Gu Qingshan then tapped the Black Tortoise image. Cold air came out from the formation plate. The frost on the ground quickly spread. The temperature became colder and colder. Gu Qingshan retracted her spirit energy. The frost stopped spreading. Gu Qingshan sighed. Such a small formation plate, yet it has 4 ways to attack, and it's still so powerful. I think it's already far surpassed our formation skills. Everyone stared blankly at this scene, and no one said a word. Chapter 330. A Great Cultivator Sighed. I'm an Ascended Realm cultivator. Rather than going to the other world to mine until I die, I might as well risk my life and sacrifice myself for my Tao. All the cultivators were in low spirits, looking like they'd just been dealt a heavy blow. A jade tag was in Lung Tianxing's hand. Before the battle, this jade tag was in the hands of an otherworld cultivator. Gu Qingshan's sudden killing spree caused the owner of the jade tag to lose his life on the spot, unable to put the jade tag back into his jade pendant in time. Lung Tianxing scanned the jade tag with his inner sight, then gave it to Gu Qingshan without saying a word. As Gu Qingshan scanned it, she saw that it was a scripture. This scripture starts from Qi training all the way to Golden Core realm, every level, what to prepare, how to break through, what changes will happen to the body, so on and so forth. It's all explained in detail. At the end of the jade tag, it was clearly stated that this scripture is for the sake of the normal cultivators in the sect, so that everyone gets a copy. This scripture is for cultivators to quickly pass through the lower realms of foundation, establishment, and golden core. After reading it, Gu Shan gave the jade tag to Ning Yuechan. The jade tag went through everyone's hands for a bit. After a while, someone finally spoke up in shock. Golden core realm is already our core strength, but they're only low-level cultivators? The cultivators exchanged looks, a bit in disbelief. Comparing the two worlds together, smithing, pills, talismans, formations, they're all inferior. And now even their cultivation realms are inferior. At this moment, everyone was filled with fear and despair. But then Gu Shan muttered, "No, this isn't right at all. What is it? Did you find something?" Ning Yuechan asked. Gu Shan spoke. "Come, let me take a look at the jade tag again. There's a detail I didn't pay attention to just now. I need to confirm it again." The jade tag was immediately in his hand. Gu Shan inserted her inner sight into it, reading every single sentence without missing a single word. The cultivators kept their mouths shut as they stared intently at Gu Shan, as if they were staring at some sort of hope. Gu Shan finally finished reading the jade scroll and said, "There's a problem here. Every time they advanced to a higher realm, they never encountered any disturbance from the void." "What does that mean?" a cultivator asked in surprise. "That means they've never seen a Tianma before," Gu Shan said. "So what if they've never seen a Tianma? Perhaps their world is protected by an extraordinarily powerful force that even the Tianma wouldn't dare to enter," Lung Tianxing also commented. Everyone once again fell into a dejected and disappointed mood. Gu Shan was still in deep thought. In the world of cultivation, no matter how high a cultivator's cultivation was, the heavenly demons had never stopped seducing cultivators into becoming demons. Why didn't the heavenly demon go to that world? Was it really because it was afraid? At this time, the alms bowl gently floated up, moving up and down around Gu Shan. Gu Shan regained her senses, looked at the alms bowl, and told Ning Yuechan, "I'm afraid I'll have to go in again." Ning Yuechan gritted her teeth. Everyone set up the formation and stand guard outside. This time, Gu Shan, Lung Tianxing, and I will go in to investigate, yes. The cultivators all replied. Gu Shan respectfully bowed to the alms bowl and said, "Please send the three of us," and 3 flashes of light flew out, enveloped the 3 of them, and disappeared. The scene inside the alms bowl reappeared. Shenwu World's cultivators tried their best to cast a spell and finally managed to open up the void of space. 3 figures appeared in the sky. 2 women, dressed in white. Both of them were peerless beauties. Standing there, they exuded a dignified aura that made others shiver, giving off a sense of inviolability. But the most eye-catching thing was that the 2 maids' hands and feet were wrapped in chains. Their spirit energy was completely suppressed by the chains and couldn't be released at all. The chains occasionally gave off a faint light that enveloped them. One of them held a red gourd in her hand, the other a glass bottle. They respectfully stood on both sides. A young man in a purple robe stood between the 2 women. As soon as this man appeared, Ning Yuechan and Lung Tianxing couldn't help but look at Gu Shan. "What do you want?" Gu Shan asked. "At first glance, his figure and aura are very similar to yours," Lung Tianxing said. "But there are differences in appearance. If you look closely, you'll be able to tell." Ning Yuechan evaluated Gu Shan and confirmed. The man's face was thin, his eyes cold, his entire body was barely visible, as if he didn't exist in this world. Just by standing there, terrifying flames appeared all over his body, burning the void of space into black cracks. The 2 beautiful women looked around in surprise, then at the crowd below. Gu Shan noticed that their expressions were very subtle. One of the beautiful women whispered, "Big sister, look, a world that no one can touch." "That's right, a new world. How unfortunate that they're so weak. Seems like it's going to be another massacre," the other beautiful woman sighed in a low voice. "Humph. Gongzi is probably laughing to himself right now." The beautiful woman looked at the Zishan young master. The young man didn't say anything and only released his inner sight to observe the surroundings. The 4 venerables and 12 saints felt the 2 women's presence and hesitated. These two women seemed very powerful, but also seemed to be imprisoned, making it hard to judge. It wasn't until they sensed the Zishan young master's spirit energy waves that they appeared overjoyed and bowed to the sky. The leading cultivator asked, "May I ask, are you Lucien's friend?" Hearing that, the Zishan young master's mouth twitched mockingly. He told the two women, "Father once killed a person. That person had a few items that I could use. Who knew one of them would be able to open the barrier and help me find this place? What do you plan to do, Gongzi?" "Bring me the gourd." The two women stopped, their expressions a bit sorrowful. The beautiful woman, with a gentle expression, tried to persuade him. "Gongzi, why don't you take the elemental origins?" The Zishan young master coldly laughed. "If that's the case, everyone on our side will sense it. They'll split the benefits evenly. I'll refine this world myself. Most of the benefits will go to my sect. Isn't that better? Bring me the gourd." He turned to look at the women. A cold glint flashed in his eyes. The two women had no choice but to answer, "Yes." One of the women let go of the chains on her arms, holding the gourd in front of her chest, and pointed the mouth of the gourd downwards. Her eyes showed a bit of reluctance, but quickly became confused. The Zishan young master formed a hand seal and shouted, "Rise." The gourd let out a 5-colored light. The Zishan young master changed his hand seal and infused it with spirit energy. Immediately, black smoke came out from the mouth of the gourd. The Zishan young master coldly looked down and said, "This world isn't bad, but there are too many people." Before he even finished, a downpour of fire rained down from above. Followed by countless screams and curses, the image ended. The image disappeared. The voice from before came again. "All cultivators have been slaughtered. The only ones left in this world are us weapon spirits. Without human cultivators, we can't advance by ourselves. Without human cultivators, we will be forever alone. Until the end of the world, we want revenge for our master. For ourselves, if you are willing to help us, please accept this bowl. This bowl is capable of killing all evil in this world. Regretfully, the Buddhist tradition has already been cut off in this world, so we can't use its full power." The voice disappeared. After watching this, the three of them exchanged glances. A white light flashed, and they reappeared in the temple hall. The bowl flew up and landed in Gu Qingshan's hand. Gu Qingshan held the bowl and fell into thought for a while. Ning Yuechan's expression was complicated. "You want to help them? Help these weapon spirits?" "In this current situation, helping them is the same as helping us," Gu Qingshan answered. He solemnly put away the alms bowl. The bowl didn't resist at all, letting him put it away into his inventory bag. Lung Tianxing suddenly asked, "But how did they get here? What are you talking about?" Shenwu World's cultivators used a secret technique to activate a certain treasure, opened the space vortex, and brought the Zishan young master here. "Yes, but the cultivators we just met, how did they get here?" Chapter 331. That makes perfect sense. Ning Yuechan and Gu Qingshan both nodded. "We came here through a tunnel created by the demons," Gu Qingshan said. "If they had such a tunnel, this world would have been there's already," Ning Yuechan said. "That might be a crucial question. Next time we meet them, we need to capture one of them alive and interrogate them about this." At this point, the other great cultivators came up to them. The three of them told them what they saw just now. After hearing the inside story, everyone shook their heads, but no one said anything. What happened today was too much of a shock to them. Even if everyone here was a great cultivator with a clear Tao heart and a lot of experience, they still needed some time to digest what happened today. After a while, Lung Tianxing was the first to speak. The four of them were all above Sainted Realm, but when the Zishan young master appeared, the four of them clearly showed fear and surprise on their faces, which means that the Zishan young master was even stronger than them. Ning Yuechan struggled to speak. Could it be that he killed everyone in this world by himself? Gu Qingshan said. From the Zishan young master's expression, if I'm not mistaken, it must have been him. Everyone stood there in silence, completely dumbfounded. That can't be right. If there really is such a profound realm, why hasn't anyone in our world ever reached that realm? a rejuvenation realm cultivator asked. An ascended realm cultivator answered. In the age of old, we even had divinities, but from the past until now, there's a gap of 1,000 years of history. In the last few thousand years, the strongest cultivator could only reach sainted realm. Everyone went silent. Gu Qingshan suddenly said, and now there's still the rain of fire. As soon as she said that, everyone's expression changed. The great cultivators had never felt so panicked and frightened before. For the first time, everyone realized what it meant to be a disaster. The rain of fire was released by the Zishan young master, and now the rain of fire was still pouring down from the sky, which means the Zishan young master really was using the rain of fire to slowly refine this world. Refining the world. That's unbelievable. With his capabilities, he must have known that a new cultivator had appeared in this world. Why didn't he kill these people from the cultivation world? There must have been something important that delayed him. Sooner or later, he'll find out about what happened today, and he'll find time to deal with it. At that time, the two worlds will face an all-out war. No, it should be one world enslaving the other world. The cultivators went silent again. Everyone's mind was heavy and full of worry. Gu Qingshan also never thought that he would be able to understand such a shocking truth in this world. If it was like the Destiny quest from before, she would have already. And now, the Destiny quest requirement is to at least keep Shenwu world as it is. Did the system sense something? Is this world changing? Gu Qingshan pondered. This matter must be reported to the saints immediately, a soul formation cultivator said. The saints are all missing. Even their communication talismans can't be reached. Ning Yushi sighed for the first time. She and Gu Qingshan both froze, suddenly remembering the universal talisman. Aishan Gu Shan, tapping his inventory bag, he took out a communication talisman. He didn't say anything verbally, but used inner sight to record what happened recently into the talisman. The advantage of inner sight is that it can hide from everyone, so no one knows what he said. Gu Qingshan used what happened in the cave to record the secret the Black Corpse told her on the talisman. He carefully put the talisman into the communication talisman, praying that 100 Flowers Fairy will see this information as soon as possible. Hopefully, this information will be able to help her. Ning Yuechan's expression suddenly became serious and said, Everyone, swear in front of me that you won't tell anyone about what happened today. We can hide for now, but we can't hide forever, Lung Tianxing said. This matter is too big. We have to wait for the saint's reply before we decide, Ning Yuechan said. Hearing her say that, Gu Qingshan nodded. The cultivators all showed expressions of understanding. If such an unimaginable matter were to be made known to everyone, the entire Alliance army's morale would be in chaos. Everyone swore their oaths. This was the end of the underground ruins. The cultivators returned the way they came, using the airship to return to the camp. A Ding Yuan general brought a few UG generals back to the camp. Quite a few cultivators came to greet them. Fortunately, the people Ning Yuechan chose were all great cultivators with high cultivation, so even though everyone was anxious, they didn't show it on their faces. Ning Yuechan then went to see another Ding Yuan general, Monk Minghui. Right after that, the two Ding Yuan generals gave out orders at the same time, giving out all kinds of missions without stopping. Very quickly, the entire camp became busy. The cultivators were all busy with military missions one after another, constantly strengthening the camp's defenses, quickly forgetting about the matter of Ning Yuechan's group. Only the great cultivators who went with Ning Yuechan could tell from her arrangements that there was a storm brewing. Gu Qingshan had the three saints' general orders, so no one gave him any missions. After handing over everything, he headed back to his tent. On the way, he looked up at the rain of fire pouring down from the sky. How can we possibly stop such terrifying power? His heart felt heavy. The universal talisman suddenly reacted. Gu Qingshan hurriedly returned to his tent and opened the universal talisman. A communication talisman popped out. Infusing it with spirit energy, 100 Flowers Fairy's voice came from the talisman. Sorrow is injured. I've brought him to hide in the space vortex to avoid being killed. You did the right thing. As soon as you meet an enemy, do not hesitate. As for what you said about the elemental roots, if it's true, then the reason why the three of us have been stuck at Sainted Realm for so long without being able to break through is most likely because of the world's restrictions. If that's the case, Yuan will go search for the elemental roots, while I will stay in the space vortex to take care of sorrow. The communication talisman's voice disappeared. The world's restrictions? That makes sense. There might have been a problem in the cultivation world that caused cultivators to only be able to reach Sainted Realm. If that's the case, Gu Shan suddenly thought of something and quickly took out a communication talisman. Sure, Fu, I think you can try breaking through in Shenwu world. The communication talisman went into the universal talisman and disappeared. 100 Flowers Fairy quickly replied, "There are powerful enemies hiding in Shenwu world. If I try to face my tribulation in Shenwu world, they will all attack me at once." Gu Shan was shocked. Is the situation already that dangerous? A few moments later, another communication talisman popped out. Relay my orders. If anyone meets any other world cultivators, kill them without mercy. Gu Shan sent this communication talisman to Yuechan. While Yuechan was worrying, she was overjoyed to receive this communication talisman. I'll give the order right now. Explain everything clearly. Don't flatter him. Don't worry. Saying so, Yuechan hurriedly left. Since this matter was decided by the saint himself, there shouldn't be any problems with morale. With everything settled, Gu Shan looked at the war god UI. The notification was still there. Congratulations, your personal strength has barely reached the requirements. You can begin the third thaumaturgy quest. Quest description. The world is crying in pain. The remaining weapon spirits are helping it resist the flames. Please enter the abyss of the world to further explore the world's secrets. Quest objective. You may need to see something crucial. Specifically, the system is unable to tell what it is. Description. The system will do its best to help you. Please use the unique power of the crystal ball in advance to explore this world's true secrets. Reading the quest description, Gu Shan silently nodded. This was the first time the war god UI openly said it would help him, as well as expressing its desire to explore this world. It seems this time was too dangerous. Even the war god UI is doing its best. Gu Shan looked at the crystal ball, only to see it was filled with a faint white mist. He lightly tapped the crystal ball. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.